The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Start of every show. Let's do a quick mic check for the first time in 2024. Am I underwater? Am I in a phone booth? Am I in a bathroom? Or do I sound, lispy and drawly as usual?
Oh, those are options?
Lispy, drawly.
You look like you're by a pool, not underwater.
Yeah.
Great point.
And you look like your hair is, I don't know.
You look like you've been up all night after you came up with the idea for the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
1.21 gigawatts. Yeah, it just occurred to me about 30 seconds ago. Actually, less than that, 15 seconds ago. I forgot to put my hat on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
The front's tall, the back's got some poof to it.
Yeah, actually.
Like a little wing back there.
Little pompadour. Actually, today's haircut day down here, as a matter of fact. Getting hair. I won't have time to get a haircut tomorrow. I have to look good for all the British people. I have to wear khakis and button-up shirts and all that garbage.
Khakis.
Going to visit Chris's dumb club. Yeah, who was that guy, Chris, in that picture you sent me yesterday with Neil Warnock?
Yeah, good one.
That was a fun bit. He
at first I thought you were for real. I'm like, this idiot.
Neil Warnock is a former manager of Huddersfield Town, and Chris sends me a picture that he tweeted out of him talking to another guy. I believe it was Sir Alex Ferguson?
No, better manager.
Pep Guardiola. And my fun bit was to say to Chris, who is that? Even though he's regarded as a pretty good manager. He's okay. I mean, you get the best ingredients in the world. How hard is it? How hard is it, Chris? You could manage that team. What do you do? Hey, Kevin De Bruyne, go out and score.
He's been injured all season.
Still, you got to man up, dude. You got to want it. Good morning, everyone. We're not doing English soccer takes today, although it is great for the club I'm attached to that we played the number one team in the championship league yesterday and lost 4-1. The runaway a team who won the Premier League 4 years ago in Leicester City, and then you follow that up this Saturday going to Manchester City. So yeah, it's
and by 4 years ago you mean 10 years ago.
Was it? No way.
2013?
Are you serious? That can't be right.
No, 2015.
I mean, even then, I'm gonna be honest, that seems like it seems like it seems like it was sooner. The whole 5,000 to 1 people putting out betting slips where they put $10 on them and all that. God, that seems like, well, whatever. Still, they'll be in the Premier League next year. Good morning. I'm Dave. That's Jason. That's Chris Laud that you hear behind the glass. And welcome into 2024. We're still in a little bit of a holiday mode here as I'm down here for today and tomorrow. Be back. It'll be fun. I'll be back in studio for one day only on Thursday. And then it'll be y'all Friday through the following week. And Jason, we got a lot to talk about today. Boy, do we have
Yeah, I mean, we were gone for a few days, and plenty of things went on over the weekend.
Yeah, let's just, we're warming up here. We're warming up for doing our calisthenics for the weekend, for the new year. How was your new year? Did you ring it in properly? Chris, I'm going to adjust I'm pegged all the way up here on my board. I'm going to turn myself down here. I don't know if that'll make a difference, just a little bit. How was your new year, buddy?
It was great. Yeah, made it to when we were here in the studio for Kings. I was talking to Henry and Deuce. I'm like, you guys going to make it to midnight? And Henry's like, oh, I won't. There's no chance. I go, really? So he said no. Deuce said he probably would, which in the past Deuce would have never made it. And I said, I might even make it to Hawaiian New Year's. And there's like, no way. I did. I was up till 3 that morning.
What were you doing till 3?
Just we had family over, we were playing games. So we obviously made it to midnight. That was the you have to. Well, I think you have to. That's the fun part. Well,
I don't think you have to.
Did you not make it?
No.
You didn't go to midnight.
Why?
Wow.
What did you make it a point to not make it to midnight?
No.
Oh,
I just
you
tired
normally
of-
go to bed before midnight. You normally don't go to bed before midnight.
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I work mornings. What are you talking about?
You weren't working the next morning
I wasn't working the next
or the
morning.
next morning.
Yeah.
Why would I make it why would I stay up till the morning? Why would I stay up till midnight? It's just some sort of corporate holiday. I'm not going to conform myself to that and go to sleep like a normal person.
So,
I'm Chris Roulade.
Back to you. Yeah, so we were just playing games, having fun. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, I want to try to make it. Was just before long. It's like, wow, it's 1, it's 1:30, it's 2. I think by the time we finished playing games, it was a little after 2, and then just kind of hanging out. And it's like, oh man, it's 3 a.m. It's time to go to bed.
Any spades?
No spades. No spades this time. How about you? What did you do?
Well, we have kids down here, 4 kids and 4 adults. And I'm not going to lie, that bed was looking real good about 10 p.m. We did stay up. We did. I don't think I've missed no, I missed one New Year's. I was in Minnesota. I remember this. I fell asleep. Everyone else went out. I wasn't feeling good. I slept through it. And I remember waking up at like 2 a.m. in the middle of the night going, wow, I completely missed. I really felt kind of depressed. Like, wow, what a loser. I can't believe I slept in. But, I'm like 22. I don't have full control over the activities down here. So this week's theme has been this week's theme has been the Hunger Games marathon, where we're watching all the Hunger Games movies. And then later, yes, 100%, dude. And then later today, we will all be trekking out to, it's called Manhattan in the Desert. It's a Jewish deli restaurant style, New York style restaurant. We like to come down here and eat at the end. So we'll eat there. And then we're off to the movies to go see whatever. This whole thing was built around the fact that I guess there's a Hunger Games prequel that's in the movie theater right now. So we're gonna go watch the Hunger Games prequel.
The appetizer.
Yeah, exactly. Look, and I don't hide it. Like, I'm a Harry Potter guy. I'm a Star Wars guy.
I know you like Harry Potter.
I do. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy. I don't have disdain for fantasy, whatever. But God dang, those movies are just a bite out of my butt cheeks. It just sucked. They're just a slog. And the rough thing is that all the kids are super into them. So I don't want to like crush their dreams by, like being like Chris, just completely poking holes in their dreams. And
That's the time to play your phone slots.
I was trying, but here's the thing. I didn't want the kids on their phones either. So I had to set an example. So we all put our phones in the middle of the table. I mean, the problem with, we have 4 kids down here, and it's funny. They are all exactly freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. What are you looking at? Who is that? Tom? Pat?
Yeah.
Okay. I miss being there.
Dropped off a tape dispenser.
Like a Scotch tape dispenser?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Pat.
Really needed that.
So they're all a separate year in high school. It's freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. They're all ranging from, 14 to 17. And they all are just nerds. Like, the constant battle to get these kids off their electronics is insane.
Get off your electronics. We're going to watch a movie.
That's right. We're going to do something. I mean, we have a whole cabinet of board games. There's a pool table here. There's a
pool.
There's literally a swimming pool behind me. Yes. Like, there's bicycles in the ground. There's stuff to do.
And have you done any of those things?
No, we've made them. But I got up this morning at 3:30 and I walk in to go make some coffee. This is a true story. And one of the other kids, not mine, not my spawn, but one of the other kids is at the table on his computer. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I was hungry. He's sitting there munching on my Triscuits, my black pepper Triscuits. I was hungry. I go, well, why does hunger involve your computer, bro? Like,
he's doing Hunger Games.
Yeah, he's doing Hungry Games. So he's using the food he's sitting there pounding Triscuits, watching YouTube videos at like 3:30 in the morning. Right. And it's just, it's so goofy because we try our best to be the use the privilege that we do have to be able to take our kids places, and we recognize, we try to pass it down that this, this is a true story. When I was a kid, our vacations where we pack into the 1967 sky blue Cadillac DeVille of my dad's with a trailer behind it, a tent trailer he'd borrow from his friend Woody, and we'd roll up to Ice House and camp. That was in camping, and go fishing. That was our vacation. I mean, and that's awesome. Like, good for us, right? These guys get whatever, and it's like they plug into the Matrix, man. It's just different environments. But the first thing they want to know is what's the Wi-Fi password, and they sit there with their Chromebooks and throw their headphones on and just dork out. And part of me is like, that sucks. No, and the other part of me is going, well, am I just being old? Am I being old? Is that just how it is now?
I think it was the Triscuits. It was the fact that he was eating your Triscuits.
That did piss me off. I'm not going to lie, because there's not a lot that I try to keep to myself.
Yeah.
Caffeine-free sodas, which I treat myself down here with, because you can't find caffeine-free Pepsi anywhere, so it's caffeine-free Coke. Caffeine-free Pepsi, for those of you in the caffeine-free club like me, is like gold. I mean, they're literally gold cans. And then, yeah, black pepper Triscuits and cheese. Like, that's my thing. I come home every day, I slice up some summer sausage, little ground mustard, some cheese, some black pepper Triscuits. I'm good. That's a dad meal, bro. And then old Ding Dong McGillicuddy is over there sticking his boogery butthole hands wherever they've been into my Triscuits. Well, you know how kids are. I watch him eat like a hawk. They don't believe in napkins. And they touch my Triscuits. So anyway, that was do I
sounds
sound
like a fun time?
Do I sound bitter? So today's haircut, Hunger Games prequel, and Jewish deli. That's what we're doing today, Jason.
My order for you sounds like deli, haircut, and then the movie.
No, it has to be. No, I have to do haircut first because I have to come home and take a shower. Otherwise, you have itchy neck. You know,
I mean, as far as order of intriguing things, not order of how you have to do that. The deli first, then the haircut, then the movie.
The problem with the haircut down here, road haircut, is that I'm not using any of the people I know. Not that I have like the greatest hair in the world, but I'm really likely to have I have to.
Where's that Flowbee you invested in?
Right. I have to convince them almost every time I go into a new place not to do the thing where like they shave the side of your head into a part and then you have the flingy over it, like whatever the kids are doing today. I'm like, no.
I'm attempting to dazzle Dave.
All right, we got a big show for you today. Sean Salisbury allegedly is going to join us at 8 o'clock. It's 2024. I don't trust any of this crap. All right, but we do have a lot of stuff to talk about, including was there vindication for the college football playoffs? We'll have a conversation about that. The Sacramento Kings bring in 2024 very nicely. And the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, they won a game, Jason. How about that?
How about that?
And they got some help as well. So sit back, relax. It's a brand new year. It's a brand new show. January 2nd. We're off to the races. We'll take a 1-minute break. We're right back with Leading Off next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Now in attack mode, drives, pivots. He's worked on against John Morant. Bangs in, spins for the fall away. Tough shot at the free throw line, and the fade was good from De'Aaron Fox. So Fox starting to find a little rhythm here in the last couple of opportunities in 2-point range. He's now 6 for 15. He has 17 points. This is a 15-2 push right now.
Hey, what a weekend for your Sacramento Kings. And as we all thought it would go, they go 2-1 on the road trip with the one loss, Jason, being in Portland.
Hey, we'll take it by the end, right? But that was pretty miserable. Everybody's not feeling very good after that Portland loss.
No, they lost by 17.
I thought it was the worst of the season.
You know what? Shockingly, it was. And then what do you know? It's been a lot of things interesting since we last spoke, including Detroit almost beating Boston in Boston, which, we were on the air the night after that, weren't we?
Yes.
And then Detroit does get their win over Toronto. And now they can start a whole new streak again, just as
you don't have to worry.
No, don't have to worry at all. The Kings looking for 3 in a row tonight. There was a comeback victory in Atlanta, big comeback for them, followed by just a drubbing against the Memphis Grizzlies. First time everyone's been available all year long. And of course, going into the game, you're like, okay, great. But that's kind of the key with the Kings. If everybody's healthy and playing, we're going to win. If you're missing 3 of your 4 superstars or something, well, that's when there's trouble for them. Either way, 123-92. That is a 31-point road victory for the Kings over a very hot Memphis Grizzlies team, Jason.
Just dominant. 4 quarters of really good basketball. Offense was good. Defense was great. Best defensive performance, at least statistically. Good way to end 2023 and bring in 2024.
All right, well, there was another good thing that happened over the weekend. If you're a local fan, cut number 2, please.
Cut number 2.
Here's third down. Purdy looks right. Purdy now chased out of the pocket. Now going back the other way, a 360 spin. Trying to send, throws for the end zone. Ayuk is open. Touchdown! San Francisco. Ayuk is on fire
on the playground. Wow, Brock Purdy spinning out. There was nowhere to go with the ball. He looks right. He looks left. Then he's got to spin out all the way up to his right. Fran with the pirouette puts his foot in the ground and finds Ayuk.
They were having fun.
They were having fun. The Niners were having fun. Elijah Mitchell coming in for a banged-up Christian McCaffrey, 80 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Brandon Ayuk, 7 catches, $114 there. And Brock Purdy bouncing back, looking very Brock Purdy-ish, 22 of 28 for 230, couple of touchdowns, and that 124.7 rating. Again, that is a very Purdy-looking normal line for him. Is a good bounce back. It's on the road versus the Commanders. It was 13-10 at the half, 49ers, and then they just shut them out in the second half, outscoring them 14-0. The defense did what they needed to do, Jason. The return of Chase Young to Washington, Maryland, if you will, and the 49ers get a little bit of help for the Arizona Cardinals.
Who would have seen that coming?
Not me. They are the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, and so that now they've got this set up the exact way you'd want. They could approach week 18. They've already let us know that CMC is not going to play, just how they want to play this week, knowing that, look, they're going to be the 1 seed. They got a couple of weeks to rest, get everything right, and it's out there for them to go take this thing and get to the Super Bowl.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through San Francisco, or should I say San Jose, whatever it's called. Wait, it's
Santa Clara, right?
Santa Clara, wherever they play. It runs through there, Jason. It runs through the South Bay. So we'll have all that, by the way, for you on your home of the Niners, Sactown Sports. Meanwhile, cut number 3, please.
Cut number 3.
It's Williams in motion. Low step. Elbow stopped. Michigan makes a stand and comes up with a milestone playoff victory. Well, barring a penalty, this is it. Texas trailing all night long. One last chance to advance to the national championship game. Ewers lobs it up, and it is incomplete. Intended for Mitchell. Elijah Jackson had the coverage. Washington hangs on and wins the All-State Sugar Bowl in the college football playoff semifinal.
Perhaps the best day of college football playoffs ever. Last year would have something to say about that, but my goodness, overtime comeback victory for Michigan. They beat Alabama 27-20. And then Washington, who I think a lot of people thought Washington was kind of the odd team out here. They're not Big Ten Midwest type team. They're not a SEC team. Well, it didn't matter because though they did their best to try to allow Texas into the national championship game towards the end, that was some puckering that was going on late in the fourth. However, it doesn't matter. Scoreboard says the same. 37-31 your final. Washington wins. They will face Michigan, Jason, in the national championship.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was very entertaining football. That's, you go through all those Saturdays kind of getting to this journey. We can question whether or not they got it right and all that, and then we'll talk more about that coming up. But then you get to the actual games that are going to decide it, and it's the field we got of those 4. Those games are great. They were very, very entertaining.
Yeah, well, we will talk more about that at 6:43. We will not just break down these games, but also did the committee get it right? You're not gonna find any bigger Florida State fans than me, and I'm here to tell you the committee got it right. They, in my opinion, they got it 100% right. And you know what? And it has absolutely nothing to do with what happened versus Georgia. That is, to me, a completely disingenuous argument I saw pop up. And again, we'll get into this heavy, but throw the Georgia-Florida State game out. That is not. I will not be using that whatsoever in the conversation. But I have a feeling Jason might feel a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. We will have that. It's okay. You know what? This is America. You can have different opinions, and everyone's polite and nice about it. We'll take a break. When we come back, Jason Ross has audio for you. The Sacramento Kings win not once but twice, 2-0 since we last spoke to you. We got audio and all kinds of fun stuff for you next on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Find the best selection of boats, side-by-sides, campers, and accessories, all at special prices. And get to your next adventure in style. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Over the years, some of golf's best stories were about the legendary Ben Hogan. Tommy Bolt once said that Hogan was the only player he'd ever known to get an ovation on the practice tee. He said he saw Hogan playing practice rounds before a tournament where half the gallery was made up of other professionals. When Bolt was asked who was better, Jack Nicklaus or Ben Hogan, Bolt replied, "Well, I saw Nicklaus watch Hogan practice, but I never saw Hogan watch Nicklaus." That's a pretty definite answer. Hogan described the game of golf as a game of misses. He said, "The player who misses best is the one who's going to win." He believed that the first hole was the most important, saying, "Well, if you don't birdie the first hole, how can you expect to birdie them all?" Ben Hogan knew the value of positive thinking on the golf course. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Right now, American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. That's normally $99 for nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic-ted. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross. It is supposed to be warm down here. I am here to tell you, it is chilly this morning. I brought one pair of sweatpants, and I can't find them. I can't find them because I woke up and my daughter is sleeping in our closet in our room. So I don't know what the story is behind that, but I'm pretty sure the little mattress she pulled in there, she's sleeping on my sweatpants.
Calm down. It's only 46.
Yeah, and I'm outside in shorts. So, yeah.
Your Florida State shorts that you jumped the pool in on Friday?
Those are my Florida State. That was my that was a swimsuit.
Ah.
Yeah. That was yeah, we didn't talk about that. That was did that show up on the I had no way of knowing. I guess I could have gone back and looked, but did that show up okay on the air?
It did, yeah. The tricky part for us, so in here where there's a little delay, so we heard the splash, and you were still sitting in the chair. So then you see, and we were trying to decide whether or not you were going to do a dive, a cannonball, belly flop. We didn't know. And it was kind of you went for the cannonball, but didn't quite grab your legs. So
it's kind of a shallow pool. So I didn't want to, that would suck to get paralyzed going into 24. So I did kind of a jumpy flopper thing, but I had this, it sucked because I had this whole bit planned where I was going to jump in, and then the end of the show, I like took a deep breath, and then the whole end of the show, I was just going to float and like have you guys be like, oh my God, is he even conscious? And then like just 2023 ends on a cliffhanger. Did Carmichael Dave kill himself going into the pool? But then I realized that the chair I'm sitting in was in the way and you couldn't see me floating. So the bit got kind of screwed up.
Also, you're putting a lot of faith that we'd be paying attention that much.
That's a great point. I'm just dying, floating in the back of the pool, and you guys are moving on to celebrity birthdays or whatever. Either way, 2-0, your Sacramento Kings. And Jason, boy, they just, as they are want to do, they came out, was it 31-8 or something?
Let's find out.
Yeah.
The Kings all should be steaming because they're getting embarrassed again. Second consecutive game. Great ball movement inside. There's a wraparound pass from Okongwu. Goes outside to DeJounte Murray. He hits the three. It's 31-8. And Mike Brown calls another timeout.
How are you feeling then?
Yeah, I was not feeling great at all. I was getting progressively angry. It had not been a good day on we played golf that day, and it was one of those where I actually I texted Tom Morton, my golf instructor, and told him when I get back I'm going to auction off my clubs and donate the charity the money to the Morton Foundation. That's how bad it was.
I wish you weren't a liar.
True story. And I was already mad, and then this is just making me madder. And it was to the point where I think right around that time was when everyone but me left the room. And I looked around and found out I was alone watching the game because I think I was just being really toxic. But the Kings wanted something different, Jason.
Yeah, they did, and they would work their way back. The bench was good. Monk, Lyles, and then this guy, De'Aaron Fox.
And the Kings get the ball back. Can they cash on this trip? Fox on the left wing. Shakes with the dribble. Gets a screen from Sabonis. Now he stops. He launches another three. He's got the triple. De'Aaron Fox has made this a 2-point game. It's the second time tonight that Sacramento has closed to within as many as 2 points. 105-103.
Yeah, they worked their way back into that game somehow, some way, because that beginning was just absolutely awful. And we know, Dave, the history of the Kings in Atlanta is not very good.
No, they'd lost, I think 5 in a row, 6 in a row?
Yeah, just overall, I think they only had 7 wins in their 39 years there, something like that.
Yeah, it's a terrible place for them to play. I was getting the hot takes all worked up. Did they all go out and get hammered the night before? Did they have the Atlanta flu? No one's showing up. Barnes and Herter played a combined 22 minutes. You could see the signs of Mike Brown finally starting to get annoyed and acting on it with those guys, just doing complete no-shows. Although Herter had a little nick to him, if you will. He was still 3 of 6 in 10 minutes with 7 points, but it was the bench that hadn't shown up, for example, against Portland, that showed up big time. And second half Fox, Jason Ross, second half Fox.
Yeah, he was incredible. He ended up with a big night, I think 26 in the second half, and here's how it finished.
Ready to resume play with 16.7 seconds to go. Wild pass, cross court, grabbed by Young. Launches a three that's no good. Scramble for the rebound. The Hawks tried to save it, but they saved it to the wrong person. De'Aaron Fox has it. And for one of the rare times in Sacramento Kings history, coming to Atlanta and walking off the floor with a win. Only the third time in the last 17 visits to this city that Sacramento gets a victory. And they do it in dramatic, come-from-behind fashion after trailing by 23. The final score is 117-110.
Yeah, second largest comeback of the year for the win. So that was nice to get that one.
It was nice, and there's also some pretty cool signs. We don't know if it's going to be a long-term sign. I know we're going to get to the Memphis game in just a second, Jason. But against Atlanta, it really was that second half. They held them to 20 and 19 points. And that's 39 points. I want to say against Memphis, it was even better in the second half. I know in both cases, they held both teams to under 40 points in the second half. Mm-hmm. And that's just, for me, that is the second most exciting thing, other than the actual wins themselves, is the signs of a cohesive defensive unit and really a payoff of the work that Mike Brown and Doug Christie and Jordy Fernandez and the rest of that coaching staff have really tried to hammer into these guys, which is you are absolutely caught in a ceiling if you don't learn how to play defense on a consistent level when you need to. And Jason, I thought they did just that.
Yeah, and again, we need to see way more of it, way more consistently, but they're showing us that they're capable, and that's the thing. I mean, two really good, I would say the last 6 quarters of defense, the second half against Atlanta, the 4 quarters against Memphis have been as good as they've seen this season, and they got to bottle that up, figure out more, because their offense really isn't the problem. There's times where they go into little lulls, but I mean, that's what they do best. If they can find some semblance of consistency defensively, then they're going to be able to take off here.
64-39. They outscore the Atlanta Hawks in the second half to come back and win 117-110. And then, Jason, it was on to Memphis and Ja Morant and a fully healthy Grizzlies squad on New Year's Eve. And this one wasn't as dramatic as the game versus Atlanta.
No, got off to a good start, a lead and a half, and second half just kept it rolling.
Here's Rose digging into the paint. Has the ball deflected by Fox. It's grabbed by Davion Mitchell. Races to the front court. Sets up the alley-oop. Finish time. Malik Monk with liftoff and conversion. Makes it 95-75. And the Malik Monk show continues. He has 22 points. He's missed only 2 of 10 shot attempts tonight.
Yeah, so starters, bench, all led to a very productive night.
Final score tonight is going to be 123-92. It's the largest margin of victory this season for the Sacramento Kings. It's the fewest points that they've allowed an opponent this season. So good numbers for Mike Brown and the coaching staff to ponder as they'll head back to California tonight and start thinking about a back-to-back that begins on Tuesday against Charlotte and continues Wednesday against the very well-respected Eastern Conference foe, the Orlando Magic.
Yep. And they'll be favored in both, though less against Orlando. Did Charlotte play? Did I see that right?
They played Denver last night.
Yeah, exactly. So they're coming in. They're coming in off the second night of a back-to-back. So, of course, this is going to be a back-and-forth overtime game tonight.
Yeah, and Orlando's second night of a back-to-back tomorrow, too. So are the Kings, because the Kings obviously play tonight, but Orlando's in San Francisco tonight.
Okay, so we're staring 0-2 in the face, guys. Bottom line, the Kings, I know the Nuggets were favored by 16.5 last night over the Hornets. The Kings now 15.5. That's about right. Over the Hornets tonight, and not to look too far ahead. We'll get to that later. Bottom line, Jason, Malik Monk, I think, had like 170,000 people in the crowd in Memphis. He had family and friends there. He certainly showed out in a big way. And when he's doing his thing, it's very, very difficult to beat this squad.
Yeah, I mean, he's just. Look, to me, I think we talk so much about Fox and Sabonis, understandably, and that hope that Keegan's that next guy, but Monk means so much to this team. When he's playing at that kind of level, again, that's when they're back to kind of their superpowers.
You know, just to give you an idea, you mentioned something earlier about the offense when we were talking about offense versus defense, and it does seem like the Kings have taken a step back a little bit. I have in my hand here real quick. I wanted to share it with you at some point, and this seems like a good time to do it. I have a list of the top 12 teams in NBA history in points scored per 100 possessions. And as you know, the Kings broke the all-time record last year. So right now, if everything were to stay the same, Jason, the top 12 in NBA history in points scored per 100. Number 1, the Pacers, 2024. Number 2, the 2024 Bucks. Number 3, the 24 Celtics. Number 4, the 24 76ers. Number 5, the 24 Hawks. Number 6, the 24 Thunder. Number 7, the 23 Kings.
Wow.
There are 6 teams as of right now set to break the Sacramento Kings offense record from last year. Oh, by the way, the Mavericks and the Nuggets, the Clippers and the Knicks, all from this year.
The Knicks?
The 2024 Knicks are the 12th most scoring team per 100 possessions of all time. As of right now, just to give an idea of where this league is going with their insane talent and scoring. And yes, some of that is talent. Most of it is talent. Most of it is these guys just get better and better every year. But I think we've also seen the way the game is reffed, the way defense is not favored over offense. The NBA obviously likes offense. It's the, old chicks dig the long ball theory with Glavine and Maddox and those commercials you might remember. So, yeah, the Kings offense has fallen off a little bit, but I'd like to think, Jason, what they're trying to do is they're trying to be a more balanced team this year.
Trying for it, right? And they haven't quite found the consistency in the balance, but there's moments like we saw against certainly the second half against Atlanta, the 4 quarters against Memphis, and some of the other games throughout the year. And hopefully in the long haul, that'll help them.
Much, much more on the Sacramento Kings today. We will continue to look back, and then we'll look ahead to tonight versus the Hornets. Also, we need to have a conversation about De'Aaron Fox and the year he's having as well. We'll do that at 8 a.m. Coming up next, though, we're going to get to the Niners at 7 a.m. Quick segment, though. The college football final is set. And again, why I, a long-time, diehard fan of Florida State University, feel like the committee got it right. Jason disagrees. We will yell and scream at each other next, right here on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Did you know there's dust floating around your home?
Really?
Yeah. Dust starts on hard surfaces like shelves and ceiling fans. And when you walk by, dust starts to move, compromising the quality of the air you and your family breathe.
So what do I do?
Get Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster. Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster is the fast and easy way to trap and lock dust.
Before it gets into the air.
Exactly. So you can just... Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster, proud partner of the American Lung Association.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know? It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
On Sactown Sports.
All right, I put a hat on. Sort of. It's a beanie. That's all I could find in there until I go out to my car.
You know what the strangest thing about our video presentation today is? Like, your background looks great. The sunlight is much sooner there than it is here.
Yes, you know, it's
not really that as bright as your place is already. It's not that light here yet.
It's one of my favorite geographical misnomers, Jason, is that like LA is east of Sacramento. And then Palm Springs is obviously east of LA. So we get light sooner. Yeah, honestly. And as a matter of fact, what was it? It's my favorite trivia question when it comes to geography. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I think it's like 4 or it might be 6 state capitals are actually west of Sacramento.
Dork.
Yeah, it's true.
That's your favorite geography question.
Well, what you give me one that's better?
It's not my favorite, but Detroit is north of Toronto.
That's a good one. I don't think it's as good. Well, you tell people first off that Sacramento is west of Los Angeles, and they look at you funny, and then you got to go to a map and see it. But when you tell them the amount of state capitals that are west of Sacramento, why do I feel in my head? Why am I thinking that Carson City is west of Sacramento? But it's not. I know it's not. But it's like Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, Alaska, all west, dude. Did you know that? You probably knew that.
So it's 4, not 6.
I feel like it's more than that. I'm screwing up my own trivia question.
But you love it.
But I do love it. And I also loved I loved watching the 49ers finally get a win, Jason, after a 1-game losing streak.
Back at it. Back in the win column. Yeah.
Got off the schneid, if you will. Got off the schneid against the Commanders. And it was, dare I say, a workmanlike victory. Just nothing flashy. They just went in and beat them.
Yeah, they did. And that was what they needed to do. And that it's got them all set up for the final week and for the playoffs. So that's good. Speaking of playoffs, tell me why you say the committee got it right. Because I want to argue.
Well, we're here. Look, Florida State went out against Georgia and basically boycotted the game, for lack of a better term. And that's a whole different discussion. You know, what should they have? Should they have shown up and shown everybody they belonged in the playoffs? Did they pack it in like the cowards they are? Like that's honest to God a whole different topic. My argument hasn't changed since the day that Florida State was voted out. Basically, it hasn't changed. It's Florida State got screwed. It was not fair. When you go undefeated in a Power 5, you should be able to pretty much automatically get in over any other team that has any sort of a loss. I don't disagree with those statements, but do you follow the unwritten rules? Or do you put what the committee believes, and we've entrusted this to a committee, whether you agree with it or not, do you put in the top 4 teams you believe are the best 4 teams in the league? I would submit to you, I don't think Florida State, as it currently stood, without Jordan Travis and friends, I don't think they're a top 10 team in the league. I honestly do not believe they have a number 1 national championship defense. And their offense was just not there. You saw it in their struggles when Travis went out against North Alabama. You saw it against Louisville. You saw it against Florida. They won all of them, barely. I think we got a tremendous weekend of college football semifinals, and I do not believe Florida State would have made it a great game versus Michigan or Washington, which is who they would have been matched up with. I don't think that they wouldn't have been great games.
I think, well, I have 2 thoughts on this. One, I'm not thinking of the same team you're thinking of. And 2, if we just go to Florida State, I think the committee, what they did is they kind of grabbed multiple arguments to make their 4.
Yes.
Because if it's based on what we generally think, you go undefeated in a Power 5 conference, you're in. I think they punished Florida State strictly because their quarterback was out. They chose a player to punish them, which doesn't make sense. Now, I don't think they were wrong in their ultimate decision, but that's kind of weird to do. Like, they just chose that at a random time here. But I still think, and I'm going to stand by this, and yes, backing it up with what they just did to Florida State, I think the best team is Georgia, but I think Georgia wins this whole thing. They're 42-2, and they've won the last 2 national championships. They were undefeated. They were the undeniable number 1, and they lost in the conference championship, and they got penalized. And
I agree with, it's weird. We're supposed to be arguing. I don't disagree with the thing you said. I think Georgia got screwed. Talking about Florida State getting screwed. Georgia got screwed by timing. By the way, Georgia had opt-outs in that FSU game too, and they still pasted them.
Yeah.
I believe.
But I think they're the best team.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I 100%. If you put Georgia against Michigan, put Georgia against Washington, I think they're going to win. They simply got screwed by timing. Had Georgia lost that game back in October, Georgia's in the national championship right now. And if you're going to, Jason, if you're going to add in your own parameters, if you're going to do things like, well, Florida State lost their Heisman caliber quarterback, they're not as good of a team, which I agree with. Then you should also add in rules like, well, Georgia hasn't lost in 2 years, and they barely lost in the conference title game. They probably should get in there over a Texas or an Alabama.
Yeah, because, I mean, if we go to the logic, Michigan and Washington were in. Why? Because they were undefeated in a Power 5 conference. Okay, then Florida State's in. Alabama and Texas are in. Why? Well, they each had a loss going in. Well, Alabama beat Georgia. Absolutely they did. Well, they lost to Texas. Okay. Texas has a lot. Like, you're measuring the losses, and you're also saying, well, the other teams were undefeated in Power 5. They kind of married them both, but you punished Florida State because they had a guy hurt, and Georgia because they lost their last game. It just, to me, it didn't quite add up. Now, we got great results, but I don't think they don't add up as far as what the Final Four ended up being.
No, and a fun summertime conversation will be which is more stupid when it comes to making decisions, baseball or college football. They consistently get it wrong, and they got bailed out, honestly, by the fact that we had a weekend full of really, really, really good games. It could be Texas, Alabama. It really could. I mean, we're not that far away. I think you and I agree, and we'll never know. But if we're betting, Florida State is not, as they're currently constructed, a top 4 team.
Yeah.
I think we both agree, although we'll never know, that if we're betting, that Georgia is 100% a top 4 team.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little thing that happened over the weekend that I thought was really interesting. Jim Harbaugh hired Sacramento's Don Yee, who is a super agent, best known for being Tom Brady's agent, has a number of NFL coaches on his roster. Jason, can I make a prediction Tuesday, January 2nd?
Sure.
Thank you. Jim Harbaugh is going to win a national championship at Michigan, and he's going to get out just in time before the hammer comes down on all the crap that he and his staff have pulled. And he's going to be the next head coach of the Oakland Raiders.
The Vegas Raiders?
Nope.
The Oakland Raiders. That is the prediction of all time.
Moving back.
Is that west of Sacramento?
They're moving back to Oakland. They're trading for the A's. Yeah, this smells of Harbaugh moving on. There's no reason.
How convenient.
Yeah, exactly. What do we have? We have 2 minutes left here.
Yeah, something like that, and then leave the school.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats on the championship, but yeah, here's your probation for 5 years.
Which is why, by the way, the NFL and the NCAA should have some sort of like extradition treaty where you can't escape. Finally, we'll talk about it later, but speaking of conspiracies, OG Anunoby traded to the New York Knicks. Did you catch that his agent is the son of the Knicks president?
Oh, no, I did not know that.
It's so corrupt, dude. OG Anunoby's agent is Leon Rose, ex-agent CAA, the big agency other than Clutch, or they merged maybe, I don't know. Leon Rose is the president of the New York Knicks. By the way, did you remember or happen to remember that the Raptors and Knicks are currently embattled in a lawsuit against each other?
Of course.
And OG Anunoby is a free agent next year. And the team president's son represents him and helped facilitate the trade. If you don't think that there are shenanigans going on in the NBA behind the scenes when it comes to the business
rigged
that nobody will ever talk about, why does Shams and Woj wield so much power? How involved are the shoe companies and where people play and what's going on? How involved is state tax in what's going on or the lack thereof? And now you have this incestuous nature when it comes to agents and making deals happen. That's just a little cherry on top of the whole Anunoby thing that is not going to get reported on hardly anywhere, but I find absolutely fascinating.
Fascinating.
We'll take a break. When we come back, top of the hour, that means it's Niners at 7.
Yeah.
We will talk about their win. Brock Purdy's bounce back. Is he now the MVP of the league? Probably not, but we'll discuss it next on your home of the Niners, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox. A breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross. By the way, I think RJ Barrett going to the Raptors. Did I read this right? I think he becomes now the 4th Canadian. Is he Canadian? They now have I think they now have 4 Canadian players. So if you're wondering where Andrew Wiggins is going. I don't know. Is Trey Lyles Canadian? Did somebody tell me that? He's not Canadian, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, is he Canadian? Trey Lyles watch. He better not be going anywhere. We'll talk more about that trade later and why the markets, why the Herter, Barnes, and Mitchell and a pick for OG Anunoby was just not going to cut it, and why it will continue to not cut it for mostly anyone you know. We'll have more conversations on that a little bit later. Right now, Jason's got the audio. If you wouldn't mind leading us through, Greg Papa has heard each and every Friday at 9 a.m. right here in your home of the Niners, Sactown Sports, giving us the narration of the 49ers traveling east and getting a W.
Well, this is going to come up a little bit later when we recap our pick 6, but Dave, I thought I'd play this just for you.
So the Niners do stall out inside the red zone. They'll bring in Jake Moody for a 38-yard field goal attempt here. It's from the right hash mark. Tabor Pepper will snap to Mitch Wishnowski. Good snap, good hold, and Jake Moody on a heater lately able to drive that one right through. The Niners do drive effectively, but they stalled out inside the red zone.
They scored first, 3-0. Jake Moody.
Jake Moody score first?
Yeah, he did.
I'll just say this. I don't want to spoil anything coming up later either, but pretty decent weekend for your boy with pick 6 and
it was okay
with 3 for madness predictions. But we'll get to that later. In the meantime, the Niners were doing Niner things.
Yeah, so they got off to a lead. Didn't really get a ton of separation at the half, but third quarter started to break it open a little bit.
Here's Purdy with a handoff to McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell. Touchdown! San Francisco. He looked like McCaffrey on that drive.
And that's when you can block that well. You could kind of go interchangeable. But, yeah, losing McCaffrey didn't sound too serious. But Elijah Mitchell, David, nice to see him back in the mix.
Yeah, it's nice that you have a guy that breaks the rookie record for the team in rushing yards in 2021. Christian McCaffrey comes over and obviously takes the spot, as he should, but it's a nice guy to be able to fall back. They're fairly deep at running back, and yes, Jason, it sounds like McCaffrey and a few others, rightfully so, are going to be sitting out in a very meaningless season finale this Sunday, but they still had work to do. They're trying to get the number 1 seed, and Washington wasn't rolling over.
No, Washington was hanging around, and so Niners had to make sure they could add on and secure the game.
Here's third down. Purdy looks right. Purdy now chased out of the pocket, now going back the other way, a 360 spin, trying to send, throws for the end zone. Ayuk is open. Touchdown! San Francisco. Ayuk!
Ayuk is on fire on the playground. Wow, Brock Purdy spinning out. There was nowhere to go with the ball. He looks right. He looks left. Then he's got to spin out all the way
It's
up
Fran
to his right.
Tarkenton.
Fran with the pirouette puts his foot in the ground and finds Ayuk.
Well, he was good. Birdie was good too, Dave. And Brock, after the game, talked about his bounce back after kind of a rough performance on Christmas.
Yeah, stay present. Don't get caught up in what's going on around and what people are saying and all that kind of stuff. There's so much more football to be played. And so for myself, understanding that and trusting the process and the routine that I've done all season and since I've been playing in the NFL, that's where my mind was at, especially after last game. There didn't need to be a drastic change in anything. I needed to be smart with the ball and execute better. Simple as that. So just being present and saying, taking it one day at a time.
And trust the process.
You got to trust the process.
Yeah.
And he's able to bounce back from what was his worst game, not counting, an injury, his worst game as a professional. And they took out a very game Commanders team that was playing for a bit of pride there. And those are dangerous games to play. And the Niners got some help, Jason, over the weekend as well.
They did, with the Eagles' stunning loss to me. I mean, especially when they were in control of that game and the Cardinals coming back to win. That has basically put the Niners in a spot where they have guaranteed the 1 seed. They now know that. They actually get to watch that at the end of their game. And so Kyle Shanahan was asked about his approach for Week 18.
Definitely try to rest some guys. But, you can't rest everybody. It's too hard. You don't have enough players, so we got to fill the team without a doubt. But and we're going to have a big week of practice. I still think there's lots of things we got to obviously get a lot better at. And the only way you do that is playing football and practicing football. So we'll have a big Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, figure out our roster as the week goes and decide what we'll do for Sunday.
I think that makes sense. Got to be as right as you can with the week off. And now that the league has changed the format, there's only one team that gets the bye, and it's the 49ers. And what's interesting as you look at the map today, Dave, going into Week 18, there's a decent chance that their first game's against the Eagles.
Yeah, which
exactly.
They're almost their own worst enemy because let's remember, kids, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending NFC champions, were 10-1 going into that Niner game.
Yeah.
They've lost 4 of 5, including that debacle at home against Arizona yesterday. In fact, their only win was the week before, that home win by 8 over the New York Giants, losing to the Niners, then the Cowboys, then the Seahawks. So, yeah, they got some help yesterday from Arizona, but you're 100% right, Jason. They could be looking at what a lot still believe. I have a really hard time convincing myself that the Eagles aren't the second best team in the NFC, but that's certainly not what the last 5 weeks say.
No, and so, you got to wait and see how this week plays out, but in the end, it shouldn't matter if you're the 49ers. You should feel comfortable playing at home, playing against anybody. They've earned this, even with their slip up on Christmas Day and that 3-game losing streak. I mean, 12-4 with a chance to be 13-4, or at worst 12-5. It's been a good year, a historical year too, for a guy like Brock Purdy, who broke the 49ers single season yardage record. He was asked about that.
I mean, it's an honor, to be able to come into an organization with the rich history that this place has. And obviously to be able to break a record like that, to me, just being the human side of it is like cool. Like I was just a little kid dreaming of playing in the NFL, and to be able to do something like that, it's pretty cool. But man, I got to say it's a testament to the team, that I have around me, the dudes that I get to throw the ball to, the guys on defense, special teams, our coaches, the organization. I mean, everything's been so good for me to come in, and they've allowed me to, have success. And so it's a testament to everybody around me, and I'm very thankful.
And Kyle Shanahan, Dave, would add one more on that thought about Purdy breaking that record.
I thought it was a hell of a deal for him. I mean, we've had a lot of real good quarterbacks in this organization, and just being told in there that he broke the record for the all-time yards in a year. I think that's a pretty big accomplishment by him and everyone else in there. So it's cool to do that today and to lock up the 1 seed.
So the Niners, if they win this weekend, will be 13-4 for the second straight year. The only thing saving them from being 11-0 in the conference this year in the NFC was a loss to the now 7-9 Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to them getting help from Arizona, let's not roll over the fact that Dan Campbell and the referees absolutely handed the Dallas Cowboys that victory over the weekend. Yeah. I'm sure you all know about it, but the major controversy that the lineman did not report as an eligible receiver, despite the fact that you have numerous camera angles showing the guy saying something to the referee. And I add Dan Campbell in there as well for blindly just insisting on going for two, not once, not twice, multiple times after getting penalized. I don't know about that, man. The Detroit Lions had been looking just fine against the Cowboys. It looked like the battle of attrition was a real thing. I thought the Lions had been winning at the lines all fourth quarter, beating the Cowboys line, doing quite well. But Campbell lives and dies by the sword. And in this case, I thought that was incredibly irresponsible coaching on Saturday night.
Yeah, got a little greedy. I mean, he should have got rewarded, but still it was greed there when even after, the infraction or the miscue by the refs, they could have kicked the extra point, forced overtime, see if you can get something done there. That was wild. I'm glad that, I don't want to say I'm glad that happened. I'm glad it happened in a regular season game and not a postseason game, but still, you don't ever want to see that happen.
Before we go to break, there's something I've been thinking about over the weekend, and this is one of those things where, like, honestly, things get so goofed up in the sports media world. You say something, it gets taken out of context. But I want to, and I'm going to do a little bit of a build up here. I know we only have a minute. The fact that Damar Hamlin is even able to step on a football field is a miracle. And we all saw that live. It stuck with us. The fact that he is even able to step on a field is a miracle. And he has been the runaway favorite for comeback player of the year since week 1. He has an appearance in week 12 versus the Eagles, where he had a tackle, the 10th against the Broncos, week 10, excuse me. So he has a couple of appearances where he's got stats. I think he has 2 tackles on the year, a couple of assists. Is there a way that I can communicate in a way that doesn't seem incredibly obtuse and mean? That, like, I feel like Damar Hamlin should have a separate award, and that there are other guys getting robbed out of this. Like, and I'm talking specifically about a Joe Flacco or a Baker Mayfield, guys that, I guess it just comes to how you interpret the award. Guys that were either on the couch or their careers were over, and they've come back and they've put up like major numbers, or in Flacco's case, major numbers in a short period of time. I feel like there should be a separate award for, like, the Miracle of the Year award or something. Yeah. Not what did he? The comeback player, I always felt like, was a guy whose career was on the schneid or over, and who showed up against odds and put up huge stats. Damar Hamlin, I feel like, is in a completely different category, and I hope I'm communicating that in a conscientious way, because I'm really trying to. It just kind of, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, Jason, but I feel like comeback player of the year award is almost too small for Damar Hamlin, and at the same time robbing these other guys.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about it in that way as far as what the league will do or should do in that realm, because, yeah, I don't think of him as the traditional comeback player of the year.
Right.
Yeah, so.
It's completely unique, and it's not like he was putting up huge numbers before, but the Damar Hamlin story is not about his stats or him being a Pro Bowler or any of that. It's about a guy who almost died on the field, who died on the field pretty much, coming back and being this massive inspiration. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from Damar Hamlin whatsoever. Like I said, I feel like the award's almost too small for him.
It's like it should be named after him.
honest to God, that would be, honestly, Jason, that would be amazing. That would be a cool compromise. Like, he doesn't win the award. The award is now the DeMar Hamlin Comeback Player of the Year award, and Joe Flacco wins it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just something I was musing about over the weekend. I wanted to be careful the way I communicated it. Anyways, we'll take a break. When we come back, we have so much to cover. Don't forget Sean Salisbury set to join us a little bit later. 3 for Madness brought to you by Firewings, including the OG Anunoby trade. How do you feel now versus before? And we haven't even talked about the change in the starting lineup for your Sacramento Kings as well. It certainly looked like they had a lot more energy out there when it came to the Memphis Grizzlies. Certainly did quite well in that department. And I wonder if they went and talked to my friends over in America. Next.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com. 3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
In that segment, also, we need to have a conversation about De'Aaron Fox and just how amazing he's been. We will do that at 8 o'clock. In the meantime, Christopher Ladd back in the studio with 3 for Madness questions brought to you by Firewings. Question 1.
Do you think that Kevin Huerter starting on the bench was just a one-game lineup change for the Sacramento Kings? Or will Coach Brown ride this one out for a while?
Well, I mean, it worked. And I don't know if it's necessarily that worked. It's interesting because for those in the trade Kevin Huerter camp, it's tough to trade a guy, or it makes it tougher to trade a guy a lot of times when he has been relegated to the bench. You want to showcase him. And I didn't know if Duarte was that guy just because he seemingly generally is limited offensively, but I think it gave you kind of a flash as to what this team would look like with another true blue defender on the floor, and that's what Chris Duarte is. He is a plus defender. He only had 7 points on 2 of 6 shooting in 25 minutes, but look at what the defense did. And look at what the defense has done over the last couple of games. That's how you advance in the playoffs, and that is how you win championships. It should underscore for everyone why Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, DeMar DeRozan, though not terrible moves, but if those come without defensive reinforcements, you're just running in circles. It's the magic formula, Jason Ross. And I think the only thing holding me back is that I know Herder's a little bit banged up.
Yeah.
I don't want to read too much into this, but if I'm Mike Brown, I don't screw around, and I get a nice 3-game winning streak here, and then let's see how far we can push it.
Yeah, I don't think one game tells you the story, but the one game you played was arguably your most complete game. So
Yep.
I don't know that you tweak it much for now because, and I don't know if it, like to your point, Dave, if it was because Herder left the previous game and there was some concern whether or not he'd play, then he was cleared. And we're getting a hint that there would be a lineup change. And honestly, when I heard that, I thought it was going to be Monk.
So did I.
And so I think we would all say Monk is a starter. I mean, there's no doubt he is. He plays starter type minutes, but when he likes to keep Monk off the bench. And I don't even disagree with the philosophy, but and that goes back to the point of it doesn't really matter who starts, it's who finishes. So Herder has been the starter. Duarte could be the starter. They could put Davion in there, but I feel like Monk's going to be on the floor at the end of the game anyway.
You go into Memphis, and as they had said, Memphis had been red hot with the reigning player of the week in Ja Morant making his return. This was the first night the Grizzlies had everybody available, and you go in there and you outscore them on the road by 5, by 7, by 10, and by 9, first through fourth quarter. As you said, it was as complete a victory. In fact, I honestly think it was the most complete victory. We talk about the worst losses of the year. You have to put this right up there with not the best win. I mean, they beat the defending champions at home. They beat the Warriors. Whatever you want to say. There's better wins on paper. I think this win right here, this was the best Kings team we've seen. That right there was the best wire-to-wire Kings team, offense and defense, we've seen all year long. Chris Duarte was in the starting lineup and played 25 minutes, 26 minutes, so there's something there. Question 2.
Question 2.
Do you think the Kings will regret not being more aggressive in pursuing OG Anunoby?
No.
Now that he has been dealt to the Knicks?
No. Other GMs get paid too. We say it all the time to everybody. Every single trade deadline where everybody gets super excited about, we trade our poo-poo platter of players we don't want and picks that'll most likely be, if everything goes right, in the mid-20s. And we think that other GMs are going to go, well, this guy's not playing and that guy is old and this guy's overpaid. But you know what? There's 4 of them and we're only giving up one of our guys. Sounds like a good deal. No, they have families to feed. They have things they have to do. And Masai Ujiri, along with Danny Ainge, you're talking about 2 of the best traders when it comes to this league in general of extracting value on a market that was very good for OG Anunoby. We told you earlier, by the way, this thing was rigged anyways because Anunoby's agent is the son of the Knicks president. So there goes your he's not going to re-sign thing. And now you have Pascal Siakam, the other diamond that might be traded with the Raptors, saying he's going to exercise his right to get into free agency and he wants to play the process, which is going to drive his value down a little bit, but not enough for you to think that Ujiri's just going to turn around and sell him for a couple of magic beans. That's the way the business works, Jason Ross. You either need to go grab a player that another team is out on and give them minimal value, which is what Monty has done, or you need to give up Tyrese Halliburton to get an all-star. That's the way the league works. I love OG Anunoby. I actually think his offense, there's a little bit more there than people think, and obviously he's one of the better 3-and-D players in the league, can guard 1 through 4. I wouldn't have wanted to pay that price because, Jason, you know this, that price would have been Keegan Murray and somebody and a pick or 2.
Yeah, from what the asking price was, I don't think they'll regret it. There's still risk here for the Knicks. Certainly, you got to hope you re-sign him. He's got a player option for next year, but he's going to turn that down and get in that free agency market. So the Knicks are doing this probably with full intention of keeping him. And I think if the Kings had done it, that would have been the same idea, but at what cost? So here's another trade, by the way. That did surprise me when I saw that come out over the week. I'm like, wow, okay. I I don't know. I just wasn't ready for that one to go down. And I think both teams did well in this trade for the Knicks and for the Raptors. But I don't know that the Kings will regret it. But, sometimes you got to strike when maybe people aren't ready for you to, if the Kings were truly interested and had something that they wanted. But obviously that wasn't there. So I don't think you regret anything that you didn't do. You just move on and wait for your next chance to strike.
Question number 3, please.
Question 3.
If last weekend was awful with the Kings and Niners losing, how would you describe this weekend for 49ers and Kings fans?
It was better.
Oh.
It was better. I mean, we beat the Commanders and 2 of the worst records in each conference.
You don't enjoy the wins as much as you hate the losses.
That is true. That is 100% true. And you're right. That is a character flaw. It was a great weekend. It was a great weekend for the Niners. A win is a win is a win. 2-0 for the Kings. I was really, really proud of them. Honestly, there were extra meanings, Jason, in both of those wins. For them to go to Atlanta, a place they never win, and to be down, 31-6, 8, 10, and to be able to come back and get that type of quality victory, and then to go to Memphis and, as I just said, maybe get your most cover to cover best all around win of the season. I was incredibly proud of these guys, and I'm happy they're coming back home, and they have a couple of very winnable games coming up in the next 2.
Yeah, it's a favorable homestand. They got to take care of that. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it from the collective, the Niners clinched the 1 seed. That's done with Week 18 coming, and the Kings had a second largest comeback of the year, which you can be mad about them being down that much to Atlanta, but they did come back, and then their most complete performance. So yeah, I think it was a really good weekend for those teams.
All right, we will take a quick break. I just want to shout out to the chat line. Not that no one's advocating trading Keegan Murray on the chat line. I want to be fair to them. It's just there's a discussion. I just want to say this to the audience and to anyone listening. When you draft a guy that breaks the rookie record for threes, shows the potential to be an elite defender, and scores 47 points in a game, you don't trade him. Like, full stop, you don't trade him. They traded Halliburton because he doubled up with Fox. They're not trading Keegan Murray, dude. So let's all just calm down about that. When we come back, the Kings had a very nice winning weekend, a big rally, the 4 quarters in Memphis. We've got the sound. We've got the analysis. It's Jason Ross, Christopher Lott, Carmichael Dave. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and vocal. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Christopher Lott will take you all the way till 10 a.m. Sean Salisbury set to join us at 8:13. Matt Barrows of The Athletic at 9. I had not mentioned Matt's name yet, as a matter of fact. Shame on me. Jason Ross, the Kings rallied from 23 down to beat Atlanta, 39 points in the second half, and De'Aaron Fox 26 in the second half, being just deciding to be clutch for an entire half and not just the fourth quarter. I was very, very proud of this team coming back and showing a lot of heart.
Yeah, this was an interesting game in the frustrating part at the beginning. And Atlanta was a team I thought they could score on, and they weren't scoring very effectively early. They got down. They got down far too many points for my liking. But they did come back, and it was really the weekend, too, for Fox. If we're talking about, going against elite point guards, he had to go against Trae Young and then Ja Morant, and Fox outperformed both of them, I thought, in his individual matchup with them. And he's continuing to have just an amazing season. And every time we think, man, can this guy really get any better? But he is having a great year, and he was so good last year. He's at just such another level right now, which is so much fun to watch him every night.
Well, and that's the thing with De'Aaron, and we're going to have this conversation in a few minutes about his leap as a player. But what you noticed is the time he spent guarding Trae Young, the time he spent guarding Ja Morant, and the fact that Trae especially gets hidden. They have to hide him on defense. And in De'Aaron Fox's case, he really is turning into more of that two-way player. And some say, we're having the conversation about, Tyrese Halliburton, shockingly. Again, you and I don't like taking anything away from Tyrese. He's wonderful. He had a couple of 20 assist games in a row, one of them without any turnovers. It's amazing. But don't even come to me when it comes to offense, and don't come to me when it comes to defense. And by offense, I should say scoring offense. De'Aaron Fox is the best. Hear me out here. De'Aaron Fox is the best two-way point guard in the league. Who's better? Two-way.
I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the great offensive point guards. Certainly are Steph, Luka, Shea, Fox, Ja, Trae Young, Tyrese.
Okay, hold on. You threw one in there. Okay, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the best two-way point guard in the league.
Is he a great defender?
I
know he's got steals, but is he a great defender? I'm not questioning. I actually am asking the question. Yeah,
he is incredibly adept at stealing the basketball. Is he as good an on-ball defender as De'Aaron Fox? No, but it's real close between the two of them. But I think that's your two, and that doesn't mean that I think De'Aaron is better than Steph, for example. But I think he's a better two-way guard than Steph.
Okay.
I think there's a line of demarcation there. I think he's a better two-way guard than Dame. He's 100% a better two-way guard than Luka Doncic. He's not better offensively than Luka Doncic. Calm down. He's a better two-way guard. That's what you're getting out of him. You're getting defense out of the guy, and he can honestly defend three positions if they need him to. Not that.
But the funny part is, like, when you say not better offensively, calm down. Like, Fox is scoring 30 a game.
Right.
It used to be like when he was living in the low 20, which there's nothing wrong with what he used to do.
Sure.
Luka's at 33, which is absurd and but Fox is, there's stats too that favor Fox in against all these guys. Not every stat, but he's really incredible offensively.
I think I stopped myself because it was after I said Luka, and Luka's scoring more, he's rebounding more, he's assisting more than De'Aaron, I believe, on all three. But he doesn't play defense. He'll never play defense. And we get on these players sometimes like, oh, you can't play defense. Jason, I have a theory, and we've talked about this with coaches in the past. I think if you're a gifted offensive player, I think that you can be a gifted defensive player with the exception of size limitations. If you're good enough and your hand-eye is good enough and you're quick enough to create your own shot, that means you're quick enough to move your own feet. That means you're quick enough and you have a high IQ generally enough when it comes to basketball to do the right things and make the right decisions on defense. I don't think it's their lack of ability to defend with some of these guys. I think it's their lack of energy and interest on both sides of the court. That's the challenge.
Yeah, well, and here's another thing that I think has obviously happened in the league. Look, I think there are guys that really attempt to play defense and want to be good defense, or teams that try to focus on that. But you just gave the stat that opened my eyes a little bit more earlier when we were talking about the Kings historically last year, where the number one offense broke all sorts of records. And what is that team now? Seventh? And so there's 6 teams already this year currently that are better than Sacramento last year.
And 4 directly behind them this year.
And the Kings just played Memphis, which has been known to be a good defensive team. And I'm taking one game, which is completely unfair, but I'm going to do it anyway for the point. On that team, there were 2 all NBA or Defensive Player of the Year, I should say, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Marcus Smart. Fox had no trouble scoring on Marcus Smart. The Kings had no trouble scoring on him or on Jaren Jackson Jr. I think it's more and more difficult now to play effective, dominant defense, because if those are 2 of the best defenders in the league or a good defensive team, like what's a great defensive team right now?
I mean, Milwaukee.
Are they great?
I don't think, and also, I'm not being cagey here. I'm actually agreeing with your point by saying this. It's almost a define great. I think the closest would be great in this time period.
Yeah, because like Minnesota leads the league in fewest points allowed.
That's right.
107.5 is the best in the league. And so, yeah, we want the Kings to be better.
Yeah.
And they're 116.8. It's not great. It's not bad. I mean, amongst the league, it's 21st. Like, But the league is it's a scoring league. And so I get the idea of wanting more defensive players and more focus on defense. None of that is wrong. I feel like the best offensive players can score on anybody.
I agree with you, especially the way the game is set up. I think you have to be the best of the worst almost, or be right up there. And how about Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets in second when it comes to scoring defense, just behind Minnesota? I think Boston is a good defensive team. Minnesota is a good defensive team. The Clippers can be a good defensive team, as can the Miami Heat. And I think it's just, Jason, I think what it comes down to is, what is the difference truly over an entire season between a 50-win team and a 60-win team when you're talking about 10 wins and losses in an 82-game span? I always feel like 10 of those games at the very least could go either way. And the thing that makes defense so important is there's going to be nights where your offense just isn't clicking, your shots aren't falling, and you need to find alternate ways to win a ball game. Obviously, when your offense and defense are clicking, hey, you're going to win those games, but it would be nice sometimes to pick up an extra 3, 4, 5 wins based on your ability to shut down another team. And I truly think the Kings, and I know this is a broken record, but Jason, they're basically one player away, 1+ defender away from being able to be in that category where they jump from 20th to 15th to 10th.
Just one? That'll do it, you think?
Depending on who it is, but yes. And I'm not saying like they have to bring in, Brooke Lopez, Draymond Green, Jaren Jackson Jr., but if the more I think about it, the more I'm really starting to like. I think Chris Duarte starting the other night gave you a glimpse as to what Matisse Thybulle would look like starting at the 2. I just think Matisse Thybulle's a better defender than Duarte. Duarte, sadly, probably a better offensive player, and that's not saying much. But Thybulle's a better defender. If they were able to upgrade, and I'm fully convinced of this now, Jason, Monk, Fox, Sabonis, and Keegan Murray are your offensive weapons. And in the case of Fox and Murray, they have the ability to be above average defenders. I don't think Sabonis has that ability. I think he's a tryhard. I think he puts out the effort, but just ultimately he's got to get by on IQ more than anything a lot of times down there. If you're able to add in a defense-minded 2 and a 3-and-D guy, and I know this is pie in the sky, I think you're a championship team. I think you're a champion. I think you're a championship caliber team. I think Thybulle fills one of those openings. But, give me Matisse Thybulle and Mikal Bridges, and let's call it a day, Jason. But we can't give up anybody we like.
Exactly. Just make it happen.
But Thibault's accessible. I think he's gettable is my point.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's an area they want to look at. I think that's a guy they can get without really mortgaging much.
I am digressing here, Jason, because we're talking about the win. I also wanted to throw this out there as well. Golly, can we please figure out the stupid free throws? Would you like to take a guess as out of the 30 teams in the NBA, Oklahoma City is number one in the league at 85.2%. Would you like to take a guess as to where the Kings rank when it comes to free throw percentage? Percentage of free throws made.
Yeah, they got to be near the bottom. Now let's just take a shot at the dark at like 26th.
Yep, that's 4 spots too high. They're dead last. 73.6%. If I'm being fair, they're tied with the Toronto Raptors. Weirdly enough, Denver is second to last, or third to last, I should say, at 74%. Just imagine, Jason, and I don't know what it is, man. And I know it's not as easy as Mike Brown saying, okay, everybody hit your free throws. But there just seems to be this weird thing with the Kings and free throw shooting. I don't know what the heck it is, but it makes me angry.
Yeah, and I know they're at least, well, they get more attempts, so they're not at the bottom as far as makes, but percentage they are, I guess. So that's not good. And that would save you a few points a game.
They were 13th last year.
Mm-hmm.
What changed?
Right. They moved the line.
They were stinking 13th last year. And what did they shoot there? 13th, and they shot 78.8%. And this year they are shooting 73.6. 5%? You drop 5% in a year and your roster's basically the same? Whatever. I blame Chris.
Good call.
I blame Kyle. Both of them. Ledbetter and the other one. We'll take a break.
Gross.
When we come back, as we move on throughout the morning, we want to thank everybody for joining us, by the way. Let's go to the NFC. Everything's got to go through your San Francisco 49ers. And then when did De'Aaron Fox turn into Steph Curry? Wait, what? That's hyperbole. Not so fast, says Jason Ross. We got a lot of stuff to get to, including Sean Salisbury at 8:13, Matt Barrows at 9. Don't go away. Lock in. We're right back on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports. For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Hey, Jason, I know we're going to get into our 49ers here. I'm looking at the chat yammering about Keegan Murray. Might be onto something here a little bit. We need to do something about Road Keegan. Road Keegan is bad Keegan. Home Keegan is good Keegan.
Bad Keegan.
At home, Keegan Murray, the rest of the numbers are about the same. He gets, one more rebound at home, and the steals and the blocks, and everything's about the same. At home, he averages 20 points a game on 50% shooting and 47% from behind the arc. On the road, he averages 10.5 points on 36% shooting and 21% from behind the arc.
I know what it is. They get mad. I know what it is.
What?
He likes the chant. So if we could just get every other team on the road like to go Keegan Murray, he'd be fine.
What if the bench did it?
That's true. I mean, look, they take the throne with them, the fog machine, all that stuff. Like, just maybe we could just take that and pipe that in the crowd noise from G1C. Every time they score, he scores. They could just play that.
Can someone call Mateen Khalives and have him come in and do a talk with the bench on how to be a consummate teammate?
Yeah.
Can we get some towels waving? Can we get some, please? Can we get something? Anyways, poor Keegan. He'll figure it out. Maybe he has a chef or something. Maybe they try to feed him weird stuff on the road.
Yeah. Doesn't he always have, what does he say? Chicken and rice?
Chicken and rice, what he told us in Portland. Should Scott Moak go out on the road with Keegan Murray?
Possible.
Should Scott Moak be sitting next to the Kings bench with a megaphone and just do the entire chant? Would the road teams be into it?
I think we'd all take that if that's what it needs to happen, then we'll do it.
The 49ers managed to get out on the road and do some fun stuff over the weekend. So they beat the Commanders, but Jason, it means so much more. They're not going to have another road game unless it's in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl.
That's pretty cool. I mean, this was their last true, quote, road trip, I guess, to go to D.C. They could dictate the terms this week, how they want to play it. We played the cut earlier, Kyle Shanahan saying, look, I'd like to rest some guys. I can't rest everybody because they just don't have enough players to do that kind of thing. But, when you want to protect a few of your really key players and guys that have been a little bit banged up, now you can get them right with a couple of extra weeks off.
Trent Williams, Eric Armstead, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. Just rest them. Maybe a couple more.
I don't think there's fear of this. It's kind of a rhythm to the sport, but
Yeah.
I don't think missing 2 weeks, they would lose their rhythm. Do you?
You wouldn't think so.
There have been teams that have had that, but you get to the playoffs, they're going to face a good team in that week too.
Yeah, but also you look at how they performed off the bye week this year. I know that was just 1 week. I want to say Kyle Shanahan and this team have just a ridiculous record after the bye week over the last 3 years. I know they do over the last 2. In fact, they have just the 1 loss this year, and then did they lose after the bye week last year? If they did, they just had 1. I want to say they didn't, but my point being, it's not the same. But my point being, that's 1 week off. Let's see. Yeah, they were undefeated last year after the bye week.
Wow.
So they went from 4-4 and finished at 13-4. Quick math tells me they were 9-0 last year after the bye week. Let me just real quick for funsies look the year before. Well, okay. Well, they were. Well, they were 2-3 at the bye week. So they ended up 10-7. So that means they were 8-4. You count that with so that's 17-4 over those 2 years, and then this year they had just the 1 loss after the bye week. Let's assume they go 13-4. That's going to be 8-1. So now you're talking about 25-5 over the last 3 years.
Wow.
Since the bye week. And the overall point is, again, I know it's different 2 weeks to 1 playoffs and not, but this is a team that obviously, at least under Kyle Shanahan the last 3 years, has shown that the rest seems to do them very, very good. You want to wrap these guys in bubble tape and make sure, because Jason, there's no other team. I think I can confidently say this. Even the Chiefs, maybe you throw them in this category that if they don't win a Super Bowl, it's a failure of a year, but that's just simply that's one of those expectation things.
Mm-hmm.
There's no team like the 49ers that are expected. There's more pressure on them to win a Super Bowl this year, I would argue, than any other team in the league, because A, the record, B, their seeding, and C, the fact that, let's just be honest, for those of us your age, my age, who grew up with 5 49er championships, they have not won in 30 years.
Isn't that amazing?
It really is. This is the 30th anniversary this year of their win over the San Diego Chargers, their blowout over the San Diego Chargers. They have a true blue massive Super Bowl winning streak, or losing streak, I should say.
Right.
Including their last 2 appearances, where, remember, they were 5-0 in Super Bowls. They're now 0-2 in their last couple. So there's a lot of pressure on these guys, but Jason, getting the number 1 seed, that matters.
Yeah, that was really big for them. I think that was critical to get this. I don't know that they were counting on the help this week from the Cardinals. They did get the help. And so now you got to figure, and it takes the pressure off this Rams game. Like, I feel like they were going to win it anyway, but it just, they don't have to now.
No,
it doesn't come with the same kind of stress trying to get to that 1 seed by needing to win that game.
I'm also just looking at this list here. longest droughts. I guess the Niners are just kind of, it's really kind of funny. The Niners have not won a Super Bowl in 30 years. And yet here they are. They're, I think, almost in the middle. The Cardinals, Lions, Vikings, Browns, Chargers, Falcons, Titans, Bills, Bengals, Jets, Dolphins, Raiders, Bears, and Commanders all have longer droughts than the 49ers.
It's because the Patriots are hogging them all.
Well, you know what's sad, dude, is that you and I have seen 1, 2, 3. Well, we've seen 3 of those teams above us win Super Bowls in our lifetime, in the Raiders, the Bears, and the Commanders. Okay. What's next? Lot to do in the meantime. But you rest up, you rejuvenate, but also maybe a chance to get some of the, we talk about resting these guys and them getting out of a rhythm. Maybe also at the same time, you get guys like Elijah Mitchell and others a chance to get into rhythm for the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't utilized him or counted on him because McCaffrey's been such a big deal in what they're doing on a week-to-week basis. And I would expect him to be still the primary guy, obviously, when they get back into the playoff mix. But to have more depth there, that can't hurt.
No, that can't hurt at all. The more depth, the better. It's a long slog. We've got one more week of semi-meaningless. Hopefully, by the way, all your fantasy football championships are over. Jason, I know yours isn't because you go points only, which I love. By the way, if I know we're pretty full the rest of the show, but if we end up having, like, let's say Sean is not able to join us, he's in a rough area at 8:13. If you want to do a segment I like to call Ask a Fantasy Football Champion, I'm available.
Okay, how did you do it?
Dork. How did I win?
Yeah.
By having the best team. What do you mean? My 6th ring in my legacy league. 6.
Wow.
Yeah, it was I'll tell you, Jason, it was a pretty hard fought battle. We were within 10 points of each other pretty much the whole entire way. In fact, the guy I beat, if I'm going to lose to somebody, I want it to be him. He's like 60 something years old. He's been in this league since I've been in it, since I was in high school. We call him the donation because he just donates every year and sucks.
How did he get there?
He put together a pretty decent team. But in the end, I got to give shouts here. Breece Hall, Isaiah Likely, and Rashay Rice really came through along with Brandon Ayuk and Devon Achane. And the shareholders, the legacy team in this league, Jason. I need 2 hands now for my rings.
You're a champ.
Anybody has any questions or whatever, we will be having a parade in South Carmichael. Yeah, a little bit. No, you're all invited. We'll take a break. When we return, let's talk about De'Aaron Fox, his leap this year, how insane he's been, but mostly from the 3-point line. Jason's got some pretty awesome stats as well. We'll get that next.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Welcome back in. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Christopher Law taking you all the way till 10 a.m. That means we are halfway through. I'm, the thing that sucks the most about not being in studio is I'm down in Southern California. I'll be back day after tomorrow in studio. Jason Ross and Chris Manning LaForte. Is, Jason, I see sometimes, like, when you work together for a long time, you pick up, it's just a chemistry thing. You can pick up certain things. I see certain looks you give Chris sometimes, and it just bugs me so bad. Like, I want to be in on the joke, and I'm not. Like, you gave him like a little bit of a look as we were coming back, and I'm thinking, what's going on in there? What did Chris say in the IFB? What were they talking about during the break? Who's in the studio with him? You guys are having fun.
I was trying to give you all the looks right now.
Yeah, I see that. You're doing a couple of head nods.
Ironically, I think coming back, that was like the first time we didn't say anything to each other.
What's the office like? I assume nobody's there.
At this point, I don't think so. I don't know. There was last week was more odd because Pat, Tom, and Cody were not working, but they're here. They're back.
Everybody's back full strength,
as far as I know.
Yeah,
there were 4 cars. Yeah, all 5 cars here in the morning.
Did Tom Maley make it to midnight?
No chance.
No way.
Right.
I don't even think he made East Coast New Year's.
Did Pat make it to midnight?
Yes.
And do I even need to ask about Cody?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say no to Tom, yes to Pat, yes to Cody.
Well, we know Cody's a shoo-in. Cody made it to Hawaii.
I don't think she did. I'm going to say no on that. Wow. I'll find out in the next break.
Okay. All right. Could you also find out what happened with De'Aaron Fox in the offseason? Do we obviously he gets the credit, but do we also need to shower praise on his wife, on Florida State's Luke Locks, and the this thing he's been doing? You remember a couple of years ago, his honeymoon, and Luke was out there with him. I know they were doing it again this offseason. It really is. Doesn't it seem to be one of those, hey, funny thing is, when you work really hard, results happen, and those results are happening this year, Jason.
Yeah, for the longest time we said, man, could De'Aaron Fox just become an effective enough outside shooter? And if you can make some threes, that'd be good. Now he's become a sniper. Dave, this happened the other night.
Ball's in the hands of Malik Monk. Rolls hard right, reaches inside, kicks the pass to the corner. Fox is open again for three. He's got the triple, and Sacramento has its first lead of the evening. They're on top by one at 106-105.
That was the 8th three-pointer of the game. He had set a career high with 7 the game prior against Portland. Then he hit 8 the next night against Atlanta. He has been unreal beyond the arc.
Yeah, and what's crazy is he was making 1.5 threes a game last year, and he was shooting 5. His career high is 5.5 a game. He did that in 2021, and he shot 32%. Last year, he averaged 5 a game attempted. He made 32.5%. Jason, he's shooting 8.8 threes a game this year and hitting 40% of them. Holy cow, as Harry Carey would say.
Yeah, and I saw this the other day when Steph had his 3-point streak broken. You know, he had made one in like 260-something games in a row. Then they showed the active list, and the list had it was so much lower than where Steph was. But Fox was like in 9th. And I went, wait, De'Aaron Fox has an active, and it was something like 20 straight games with a made 3, 21, something like that. And obviously he's made a bunch since then too, but it's incredible what he's doing. And at times I'm almost going, are you shooting too many? Because I know he can get to the basket. That's really one of his superpowers. But if he adds this, Dave, as a second weapon, man, good luck guarding him.
He is, let me make sure I have this right here. Yeah, he is exactly 33s away from tying his career high, which he set last year. He's 33s away, and he's played in 25 games. By the way, he played 73 last year. Riddle me this, Jason. How is it that you make that big of a jump? Almost exactly 8%, 7.9% better than last year on quite a few more attempts, or almost 4 more attempts a game. How is it that you do that, but your free throw percentage has fallen 6 points?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense.
Does De'Aaron Fox need to start shooting his free throws from just the top of the 3-point line?
Not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a list here of players shooting 40 or better from 3 on at least 8 attempts. I think that's what you were just referring to.
Yeah, the amount of people the list that he's on now is, that's Curry. You'd expect that. Tyrese Halliburton, Paul George, Anthony Simons, and De'Aaron Fox. That's the list.
And he stepped up his defense as well. As we had a little bit of a conversation earlier between he and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Those are your 2 best on-ball, 2 best two-way point guards in the NBA. I'm very comfortable saying, I'm fairly comfortable in saying that. I know there'd be some argument there. But De'Aaron Fox, I'll tell you this, if he's playing in a major market, we're talking about him being a Western Conference All-Star starter at this point, I think. I really do. It's amazing how much he's jumped.
Yeah. What was the number of made threes, do you know? I know you said he's 30 away.
What was I just had it up? Hold on. Totals this year. Let's see. Where are you, guy? 3-pointers. He has made 89. He made a career high 119 last year.
In December, he made 51.
I mean, that's insane. And it's really awesome that he is kind of coming into his own offensively and defensively. And I don't know, Mike Brown is fond of saying, he's just scratching the surface. I mean, I don't know what to think here. Like, is this who De'Aaron Fox is? Because he can't get much better. Can he?
It's, well, you would start to think here, like, again, I want to go, what game was it? Let me look back at this. Yeah, it was the Atlanta game where he made a career high 8. He was 8 of 16, which is a great percentage. He took 20 field goal attempts. So he only took 4 twos. And I was starting to think, look, when you're that efficient and you're making your threes, I mean, you can keep shooting them in my mind, but to have 4 made twos or 4 attempts at 2, he can get to the basket, get downhill, whatever phrasing you want to say with the best of them. Dave, if people start to go over the top of the screen or because everybody would play under the screen because you don't want De'Aaron driving and breaking and putting too much pressure on the defense. If they start to do that out of respect for his 3-point shooting, now you can get him going back to the basket with maybe less pressure there. That's what's going to make him close to unguardable.
And how, look, again, he deserves all the credit. And please don't interpret me saying this as trying to take anything away from him, but it's just amazing how Domantas Sabonis has really unlocked him so much as well.
Absolutely. Deserves a ton of credit for that. And those two guys have gotten better together, working better, and just playing more games together now. And having just enough other weapons around him makes them all better. But to watch De'Aaron really grow, really blossom into not only a leader, a scorer, one of the league's best players, but now the one thing is like, well, his jump shots, it's okay. Right. Now it's becoming lethal. It's incredible.
Well, and also, not to get too silly, but let's get silly here for a second. When it comes to scoring output, at least, because the rest of his numbers are fairly similar throughout his career, but when it comes to scoring, I just decided for the heck of it to take a look at this. Dame Lillard's best scoring year was last year when he averaged 32.2 points a game. Jason, Dame had 0.2 more of a rebound and 1.2 more assists. De'Aaron Fox has him in every other category with the exception of free throw percentage, which I do think is important, and it's massive. It's almost it's 91.4 to 72, but it's always fun to try to look at players and say, well, this is the next this guy, or this is the next that guy. Is Dame Lillard, how would I say this? When you factor in the clutch ability of De'Aaron Fox, when you factor in how he's scoring now, and by the way, he's a better defender than Damian Lillard. I mean, overall, should De'Aaron Fox be thought of now in that category as we are seeing a prime type Damian Lillard point guard?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair comp, I guess. I mean, I think De'Aaron's really kind of unique in his own sense to some of those abilities, and so was Dame, but you're just looking at a franchise point guard is what it is. Yeah. So you can plug and play that, whatever that means to any other franchises. Some guys do it a little differently, but as a consistent scorer, fourth quarter scorer, now the ability to shoot threes at an efficient rate to go with his quickness and speed. Yeah, he's elite. It's awesome.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch him ascend and continue to ascend. And honestly, most importantly, well, not most importantly, but this is a guy that has ridden for Sacramento from day one. Never wanted out.
Yeah.
Never wanted to leave, wanted to stay here, wanted to win. And I think we are, if we're not there already, I think you can actually ask the question, Jason. Here's a fun one. Is De'Aaron Fox the greatest Sacramento King in history?
I don't think he's quite there, but he's tracking it. I mean, honestly, I know the other day they did that, I think, on the TV side where they did like the Kings Mount Rushmore, and I think without a doubt, Richmond and Weber are there.
Yep.
Picking that, and I think Fox is in the 4. It's picking that, other one is that Peja, is that DeMarcus is that's probably the group of 5.
I agree.
There's arguments for a few other guys, Vlade, Brad, Bibby, but I think that's probably the 5 for 4 spots. I think Fox needs to be in there. I think Richmond and Weber are non-negotiable to me. I think those are in.
Agreed.
And then, yeah, if someone says DeMarcus, I'm not arguing off that. If you say Peja, cool. I'm not arguing off that either, but I think Fox is there.
I actually think that Weber, Mitch, and Fox are 3 non-negotiables.
Maybe. And I'm not saying you're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as this keeps going, like if he stays he'll play more years than those guys.
Yep.
He'll have the career number. Like he's going to keep getting the career numbers, and so then it's going to be harder to even debate.
Jason, he just turned 26.
Isn't that amazing?
He just turned 26 years old. We'll take a break. When we come back, Sean Salisbury will join us. First joining, I should say, of the new year. We hope. I know with Sean, the schedule gets tough. We got 4 Down Territory coming up at 8:27. Matt Barrows, Niners at 9 at, shockingly, 9 a.m. It's Dave, it's Jason, it's Christopher Laud. It is your home of the 49ers. It is Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% on select Sanctuary by Green Fiber blown-in insulation when you buy 30 or more. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount ticket and time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store or lowes.com/credit for details.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Welcome back. It's 2024. Some things change, some do not. Like a warm, cozy blanket on a Tuesday. It ain't changing. It'll never change if I have my way. Sean Salisbury joins us each and every Tuesday. Happy New Year, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy New Year to you guys as well. Thank you.
Hey, let's start before we get to the NFL. You know, I think you and I talked about it. Maybe we didn't. You know, I'm a huge Florida State honk.
Yep.
I might be the one FSU honk in the country that thinks they got screwed, but the committee weirdly got it right. And that has nothing to do with Georgia for me. Obviously, they kind of boycotted that game. But I think as much as I hate the committee and everything they stand for, boy, did we have a couple of really good semifinal games, Sean.
There's no doubt. Number one, we can't judge Florida State's body of work by what you saw. When 25 to 30 guys opted out, it was a hall pass for Georgia.
Yep.
Georgia has the argument that that they're one of the 4 best teams, but when you lose in a conference championship, they don't have the argument that the committee got it wrong, because they didn't. So Florida State, listen, they were once those guys opted out, you knew it was going to be a rough one, and it was. But that doesn't take away the respect that we should have for the season Mike Norvell and Florida State put together. And those kids who got their ass kicked, it still meant a lot to them. They didn't want to go lose, and Georgia's pretty good. But you're right. Those 4 teams that play, what else do you want? It came down to the final play in both games. The final play in both games, and we had everything. Bad calls by coordinators, dumb decisions by players, catching a punt at your 2. Then we had people we had trick plays. We had what was Washington thinking, not kneeling down and handing off, you risk injury, and then you give them 45 seconds to get them back in the game. Why throw 4 plays into the boundary if you're Texas? Why is Milroe not on the edge? And if he was supposed to, why wasn't he reading it? Centers snapping it low, guys dropping balls, guys making catches. Michigan's front dominating at the line of scrimmage. I mean, we had everything you wanted. It came down to the final play in both. Yeah, you're damn right. We got it. Now we got physical Michigan, who's really, really talented against the most talented passing offense in the country. We're in for a hell of an next month. I loved what we saw last night. It was a blast to watch.
Sean, want to ask you about that Texas-Washington finish. I'm with you. I'm like, why aren't they taking a knee? So they didn't. They run. The guy gets hurt, which I feel for him. But is that a rule flaw? I didn't quite understand why the clock stopped. Usually that's done if the other team does it to avoid having the guy fake the injury to stop the clock. Obviously, Texas refused the 10-second runoff. Why wouldn't that start again for the offense? Was the team that got hurt? That was a weird snafu. Is that a rule flaw there?
Right. Well, don't think so. I mean, the injury where you can't, or the game has to stop due to injury it wouldn't have mattered. Now the 10-second, if it's your own team and you write the 10-second runoff and it works against you and you can refuse it like Texas did, but the reason the clock stops is because the game was stopped by injury. At first, if you don't understand the rule, the thing I think about is, all right, once the guy's taken off the field and everybody's on the field, when they're in the huddle or stand at the line of scrimmage, you're like rolling the clock again. But it's like when a ball goes out of bounds or an incomplete pass inside, in the fourth quarter, the clock stops. So I don't know if it's a rule flaw, but I liked it because you know what? If you wanted a close game, it bought you 40 more seconds for us to enjoy. But man, were they, at 13 points, you think this is over, and then you can't do the right thing, and then you have a penalty, and then on the punt, you get another penalty. I mean, it was crazy. And then 2 great plays down the stretch by Texas to get them in position, and then 4 balls ran into the boundary. You throw 4 balls into the boundary. It made no sense to me, and Sark's one of the best play callers on the planet. Players and coaches, I hate to say this, they do choke, and I think at times you get a little too cute, and sometimes you get a little too safe. And I think it happened for both teams that lost in the end.
Sean Salisbury with us. I want to see if you're with Jason and I. We actually both agree. The committee, we understand the committee's thinking in eliminating Georgia. We also probably disagree with their thinking in eliminating Georgia. Let me ask you this. If you throw Georgia in for either Alabama or Texas, Jason and I are both putting our money on Georgia winning the national championship, and I'm curious which team you'd pick in this scenario.
I would have, going into this weekend, as they were the 6th ranked. They were ranked 6th, right?
Yeah.
Am I right with Georgia?
Yeah.
6th, yeah. Florida State 5. Yeah. I would have, if you'd have said they're going to play all 4, every team in front of them, I would have taken Georgia and 6 ways to Sunday and twice on Sunday. I still think, and while Michigan's very similar to them because of their physicality. But Kirby Smart and the buy-in he gets, Georgia is one of the 4 best teams in America. Make zero mistake about it. And I would have made them the favorite in every game, even after Alabama got them in the SEC championship game. I still think they're as good a team as we have in America. But unfortunately for the system, now we'd have found out next year, which is going to water it down a little bit. And some people are going to be happy, but we'll never talk about the playoff like we're talking about it now. Last play of the game in both games, like I said, and to 4 teams. Now in the debate, the argument is Georgia, do they belong? And now we've got one hell of a national championship setup. So, yes, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be planning on Georgia playing next Monday if they were in this final, yes.
Sean, want to transition to the NFL? Niners won. I know you've been big on them. They get the 1 seed. Week 18, they can kind of dictate how they want to approach it, but they also know they've got the bye after that. I don't know if concerning would it be if you're Kyle Shanahan. How protective do you want to be of not losing your rhythm of the season, but also being as healthy as possible for what they hope to be a Super Bowl run?
It's like being the first pick of the draft. What else do you got to playing won't help. So I don't want to be the 6th pick of the draft. I want to be the first pick. If you could fluctuate with, where you're going to be seated, it's one thing. You're the number 1 seed. I also, on the other side of this, guys, I don't like 3 weeks off of competitive. I hate it. I absolutely despise it. If you got a twinge in your hamstring, your ankle sore, do not play them. But if you're healthy, I at least want to play them some. A couple series, get out 14-3. I'm going to protect them and be smart, try to keep them out of harm's way. And I know some like the philosophy, don't play them at all, play all your backups, and that's fine. And I don't believe in football in game-to-game momentum. I don't. I believe it's confidence. All that momentum's fine and dandy until you run into somebody who punches you in your throat, and then that momentum ends in game-to-game. I do believe in game-to-game confidence, and the 49ers should be confident, and I want them healthy. But I don't think about it. You would have to give all the backups a lot of work this week. So you miss this week. You miss the next week because you got the bye week. And then you're playing the week after and the 3rd week. That's training camp. That's 3 weeks without competitive, hardcore football. Timing matters. Offensive line timing. Fresh legs matter too. So I think it's a fine line. I'm not a big believer. I would play my starters. If they're healthy, I would get them some kind of rhythm just to play, just to get a little competitive fire and get them out. And if you're losing 21-0 in the middle of the first quarter, then get them out too. but I like a feel-good feeling, and I don't want to be away from football that long. Think about that. That's 3 weeks. I do not subscribe to not playing your starters for 3 weeks, because that's what it ends up being when you got the bye week. I would play them some, and if you got any kind of injury or you're hurt, your butt is sitting. I'm not risking that.
Sean, which do you have an easier time doing? Finding an AFC team that can stand in Baltimore's way to Vegas, or an NFC team that can stand in the Niners' way to Vegas?
To me, it's the NFC. I have Baltimore Final Four, and San Francisco going to the Final Four and getting so, yeah, it's wacko. Like, there's the major weakness. The Dolphins' secondary and the way they let people run through the secondary was atrocious. Their defense this past week, they're not physical enough for me. And yet they're still explosive offensively. Buffalo, I don't know which Buffalo showed up. The last 5 weeks, Buffalo, dangerous. Cleveland with a backup quarterback with Flacco's playing well. So there's a lot of ifs. I just think the NFC, as far as good teams, are deeper. I think Detroit can beat anybody. Dallas can beat it. We're waiting for Philadelphia to get back. I would and after what Baltimore did to San Francisco, in San Francisco, when both of them were well armed and ready to go, I think you're going to have a tougher time. If you said, Sean, you had to lay $100,000 down on either San Francisco or Baltimore to get through this with less, with the, I don't want to say easy, but easier run, who would I bet it on? I would bet it that Baltimore is you're going to have to play out of your mind to beat them. I love Todd Monken. I thought he was going to be one of the 5 best gets this offseason, and I think he's validated that. Give me Baltimore as a heavier favorite than San Francisco in the NFC.
That's Sean Salisbury. Cannot wait to talk NFL playoffs with him throughout, and I'm sure other things and other sports will come up as well, including the next time we talk, we'll be talking about your college football national champion. Glad you had a great Christmas, a better New Year. Here's to you and yours in 2024. Thank you so much, brother.
Epic year ahead, buddy. I can't wait. Thank you. Appreciate everything.
All right, take care. That is Sean Salisbury. I really want to I'll do it next week. He's such a Raider fan. I want to ask him about Jim Harbaugh and if he thinks he's going to the Vegas Raiders. We'll take a break when we come back. 4 down territory, best and worst, single, individual, team. You get the drill. We do it each and every Monday/Tuesday. We'll do it next.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Tuesday looking a little foggy to start. A fog-chilled morning out there. Expect the fog to mix out midday, but only be replaced by more clouds, and we'll see some rain after 5 o'clock. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the potty, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. Our grip is always soft. It's our party vice. Every booty wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
It's my favorite time of the year. Folsom Lake Ford's year-end sell-a-thon with the low finance rates, special year-end savings, and zero down deals with approved credit. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters for over 30 years.
Discover your next adventure. Buy the latest gear and meet the experts at the International Sportsman's Expo. Your life outdoors, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the
sports.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Jason.
So I got the update on whether or not they made it to New Year's from the country station.
Okay, so the guesses were as follows. We both said Pat did not make it.
I said he did. You said he did not.
Excuse me, you're correct.
Tom, we both said no. And
Cody we said
yes.
100%.
And I said there's a chance that she made Hawaiian New Year's.
Yeah, I agreed with you, by the way.
Yeah. So Tom looked at me like, no way. I think he said he was in bed at like 8:15 or something. You win the Pat Still sweepstakes. I thought he made. He said he was like about 10:30.
Old man Pat.
And then Cody did make it, but not much after midnight. She said she did not make Hawaiian time.
Did not make Hawaiian
there
time.
Go.
And Tom was asleep at 4:30.
Tom might have been awake but he had already gone to bed.
I made mountain time.
You did?
Yeah.
You did make mountain time.
Yes.
But not.
I was still curious whether I don't know, maybe I'll get an input from G-Man tonight, Dave. The Kings flying home. Like I thought they could have celebrated New Year's in Central Time, leaving Memphis.
Yeah.
Maybe made it across the time zone and got Mountain Time. And I don't know if they could have done the clean sweep, but that would have been interesting when they crossed the time zones.
I know they had some noisemakers and stuff on the plane. No, I'm not talking about loud people. Just, the
yeah.
I don't know. Did you see the clip of because I don't watch any of the New Year shows, but I forget. It must have been CNN. It was John Mayer at a Japanese cat cafe in Japan.
No.
And Anderson Cooper and what's his face with him interviewing him. If you get a chance to watch the clip, the cat acted exactly as you would think a cat would. John Mayer in a cat cafe in Japan on New Year's Eve is pretty fun. So it's Four Down Territory. And we've got that for you right now with Chris Verlaud. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Dave.
Hi.
My question to you on First Down is, which team had the best week 17?
Oh, there's a few candidates here, as there are each and every week. I'm going to give it to the New Orleans Saints, though, in that crappy, stupid division. For them to face the team that they are one of the three teams really that are vying for that spot. They go into Tampa Bay and they win 23-13. Look, it's still a division title. It's a playoff berth, and Derek Carr, 24-32, $197, a couple of touchdowns. They went in and beat Tampa Bay, and now you've got those two with the Falcons loss at 8-8, vying for the title this weekend.
Yeah, there are a couple of candidates here. They kept their season alive going into Seattle and winning Pittsburgh. The Steelers, that's basically when they could have been eliminated. Yeah. And for the Steelers to get the win, to stay alive, keep their playoff hopes alive, that was a really clutch win for them on the road. They've had kind of an up and down season. It also guaranteed Mike Tomlin another winning season, which he was in jeopardy of having that after they had a couple of those really bad losses in a row. going to say Pittsburgh did a nice job to keep their season alive.
Oh, did Jason Ross just step on 4-down territory? Stay tuned. Christopher Laud, second down.
Excuse me, 4-down territory while I step on you.
Which team had the worst week 17?
There's a couple of candidates here, but it's tough to go against the Philadelphia Eagles. Just the 49ers broke them in two, apparently. You lose to the Cardinals at home. You're now 1-5 in your last 6. 1-4, 1-5 in your last 6. Whatever. You've lost a bunch after starting out 10-1. And now, as Jason said, you're looking at the road pretty much throughout, and a possible matchup with the Niners in the second round. Terrible weekend for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think that's probably the answer, but I'll give another one just because. I mean, they're okay. Their positioning is okay, but there's plenty of people that doubt them. How about the Dolphins getting waxed by the Ravens? And if people think, oh, they haven't beaten anybody, then maybe the one win against the Cowboys. Well, here they play somebody and just get 56-19. Dolphins had a terrible weekend.
That was my honorable mention, Jason. I had to give it to the Eagles, and I have a feeling if you'd have gone first, you'd have given it to the Eagles. I would have done the same thing and followed up with the Dolphins. They won the Fraud Bowl last week when they beat the Cowboys 22-20, and then they lose 56-19. And when you look at their wins, that 2-point win over Dallas, the only quality win on their schedule. They're all quality wins, Dave. No, they're not. And when you combine that week 4 loss coming off the 70-20 win over Denver, they lost in Buffalo 48-20. That's 2 results from a team that's supposed to be for real. When you combine the two, 104-39 against the Ravens and the Bills. That ain't good. Christopher Laud, third down, please.
Which individual had the best week 17?
Well, Jason stepped on it a little bit, but that's fine. It deserves to be talked about more than once. How about Mike Tomlin? I will give him the trophy for the week, once again assuring himself of a season where his team finishes above 500. There is nothing more consistent in sports than the Pittsburgh Steelers and their coaches, going from Chuck Noll to Bill Cowher to Mike Tomlin. Tomlin is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is underrated each and every year. He gets a tune out of his squad every single season. They put it up there. And just when you look at the quarterback situation and all the things that have gone wrong with the Steelers this year, to be able to get an above 500 results, and as Jason said, still be alive going into the final week for the playoffs, hat tip to Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I want to give a hat tip to Lamar. I mean, off the week where people were maybe giving him the MVP, which I thought, he outplayed Purdy, no doubt. But I don't know, body of work that he deserved it. Then he goes back and throws 5 touchdowns. He was great, but I got to go with Joe Flacco. I'm going back to Thursday.
Yeah.
The Browns clinch a playoff spot. Dave, that jersey that's been out there, like the Browns quarterbacks, where it's just like running down the back. Yes. And you look at the list, you're like, golly. Like that, Joe Flacco feels like a name you'd be embarrassed to have on the back, but he's been great as a Cleveland Brown. They've had to add him into the mix. He's their 4th starting quarterback. He's the guy that helps clinch a playoff spot for the Browns. This could have been a year to easily explain why they went 5-12. Instead, here they are with 11 wins and made it through all those injuries. So Joe Flacco had another big day with 3 TDs on Thursday. So I'm giving it to Joe Flacco.
4th down.
Which individual team had the worst week 17?
Wait, individual team?
That's supposed to be individual.
But which individual had the worst week 17?
Well, you know what, Chris? I'm going to save you here because I'm giving this. This is going to be a team award of 2 individuals that are going to make up the team of 2 that had the worst week. I'm going to ask Dan Campbell to step forward, and I'm going to ask the referees in that game to step forward, and you both lock hands, raise them in the air because you both had terrible weeks. The refs missed the call, and in the fact of missing the call cost Detroit a home playoff game. It's an absolute debacle. That would have won the game for them almost certainly, and there's absolutely no recourse. Detroit fans should feel every bit as mad as Detroit Tiger fans felt when Armando Galarraga got robbed of his perfect game, except the sad thing is this means more. But Dan Campbell, I understand that he has to, put his coin purse in the passenger seat because it's so huge. But at some point, I understand that it's that, what's to the wall mentality that helped get them there. But dude, you gotta at some point kick the extra point, especially when you're 7 yards to go. Like, bro, we get it. Go to overtime, win the game. The refs screwed Detroit, but Dan Campbell helped screw him as well. He's got to wear the crown there as well.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer. It's got to be the refs from that game. But I want to give one other shout out too. It was such a weird look. I didn't hear it and I only saw it. The Kings were playing Memphis that night. And we're watching that, and then I have the Sunday night game on, Dave, and there's Kirk Cousins shirtless leading the skull chant for the Vikings, like just to get the crowd going. And I think he had his son up there, like, all right, what is this? What's happening up here? And then by the end of the night, I'm like, they got just crushed. And I kept thinking back to that, like, what was the whole point of that thing?
Wait, who was it?
Kirk Cousins. It was a home game. Like, he wasn't playing. Obviously, he's hurt. But he was kind of like, everybody, like in Vegas, they got the eternal flame. There's different things to get people rallied, the 12th man flag. He was up there leading the skull chant, and he, for whatever reason, was rocking this huge gold chain, and he was shirtless. And I'm like, all right, maybe that's going to get everybody fired up. Meanwhile, it was 33-10 Packers.
I don't. Kirk Cousins shirtless doesn't fire me up unless we're clubbing.
Which you guys have?
Quite a bit. We'll take a break. When we come back, you've never seen him cut a rug. Let me tell you, it's something special. Who's hot and who's not? Recap 3 in the key. We will do that. And we'll recap pick 6 between the Niners and the Commanders. It's Jason, it's Dave, it's Chris. We're right back on your home of the 49ers, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. People come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
Who is hot.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh, yeah.
Remember him?
I do.
You know what? It was an even trade, Chris. God.
Well, in the Pacers' 4-game winning streak, Tyrese Halliburton has averaged 25.5 points and 16 assists a game.
I mean, that's pretty good, right? How does he defend? Boom.
Got him.
Got him. Nailed him. Okay, who's hot? Or who's not?
The Charlotte Hornets. Oof. With the Detroit Pistons winning against the Toronto Raptors, they now have the longest losing streak in the NBA at 11 games, which is the perfect time for the Kings to give them some home cooking.
I would like to add to who's nots, and this is from the world of social media, to two of just my favorite people in the world. Shout out to Aubrey Huff for going after a girl on Twitter for I don't even know, and then her producing the receipt of him DMing her about let's get together and make some bad decisions on Christmas. By the way, I believe Aubrey Huff is married with kids. He deleted his account last we checked, which is a huge win.
That's all it took?
That's all it took, dude, for Aubrey Huff to delete his account. And another special who's not shout out to Chris's guy, Jason Whitlock, who decided to go after ESPN. He took a screenshot of him looking up the NFL standings, and there was an ad for some porn type thing above it. And what Jason didn't realize is they're aggregated based on what you search for, dude, and got absolutely destroyed and just posted 4 hours ago this novel about how he basically him saying I'm not owned, you guys aren't owning me, I'm not owned, and you owned yourself, bro. So shouts to both of them. Jason Ross, back to you.
By saying he's not owned, are we burned by that, or what's the
wasn't burned? I wasn't burned.
Okay.
Oh, dude, you burned yourself, bro. Sorry, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got a pick six here.
We do recap.
I'm so excited because I know I got one right.
Well, pick six, or do you want to do
three in the key
first?
Let's go three in the key. Absolutely. Because I know I got one right.
Yep, we did three in the key from the Kings and Hawks game last Friday. So it was decisions and predictions, Dave, you made, that I made, that Chris Verlade made. I asked you guys the point guard points, De'Aaron Fox versus Trae Young. Dave, you said 38 for Fox, 41 for Young. I said 39 for Fox, 31 for Young. Chris said 36 for Fox, 22 for Young. The correct answer was 31 for De'Aaron, just 18 for Trae Young. So Chris Verlade was the closest on that.
Oh, well done, Chris Verlade.
We went to the bench scores. The best bench score for each team is Malik Monk and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Dave, you thought Monk would get 25 and Bogey 18. I said Monk 16, Bogey 22. Chris said Monk 15, Bogey 15, the same number. Well, Chris was the closest. Monk had 15, Bogey had 12.
Gosh, I was a game off.
And then random stat, Dave, you said Mike Brown would win a challenge.
Oh,
that happened. That happened on Friday.
Did you see the celebration behind the bench too when they won? They were freaking out, man.
Actually, when he called it to him, I'm like, he's not going to win that one. And then, actually, I think Katie said it earlier. I was like, he's going to win this challenge. And then the more I saw it, I go, he might. And he did.
I did not think he was going to win the challenge either. Not on that. So shout out to Katie for finally getting one right.
And then I went to our guy, Red Velvet. I was just impressed by his cardboard cutout in here. I said Herter would score a season high in his return to Atlanta. He had 7 and left the game with an injury. That is not a season high.
Thanks, Jason. Season high in leaving games with injuries.
And then Chris said Sabonis would have a triple-double his third and fourth game in 4 games. Well, he had 25 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Just missed the triple-double.
And they got a triple-double the next night.
Then he got a massive triple-double the next game. So there you go. There was 3 in the key from Friday's game.
And they won.
And they did win. Had to come back from 31-8 deficit, 23 down.
big comeback victory for your Sacramento Kings. Can they win 3 in a row tonight? Find out right here on your Home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
Best of a Zach off.
6 picks. Nope. Pick 6.
Yep.
Let's pick them.
All right. How do we do on this? Dave, myself, Chris, 6 categories, from predictions for the 49ers game. I asked who would score the first points for the 49ers. Dave, you said Jake Moody. Chris and I both said CMC. The correct answer was Jake Moody. Dave with the win.
Give me Moody.
We asked who would be the receiving leader and how many yards. Dave, you said Kittle for 81. I said Debo for 88. Chris said Ayuk for 93. The correct answer was Ayuk for 114. So Chris gets that one.
Good job, Chris.
Chase Young Sachs has returned to D.C. How would he do there against his old team? Davey said he'd have a sack. I said he'd have 0. Chris said 1.5, so we had the board covered. I got that one. He had 0. 0 his return. We asked for the Brock Purdy touchdown to interception ratio. Prediction there. Davey said he'd have 3 TDs with 0 interceptions. I said he'd have 2 with 1 interception. Chris said he'd have 2 touchdowns with no interceptions, and that was correct. Chris, again, 2 TDs, no interceptions.
Chris is who's hot.
Chris is having a day. All right. Then we asked the halftime score. Dave, you said 14-10 San Francisco. I said 27-6 San Francisco. Chris said 24-7 San Francisco. It was 13-10 San Francisco. Dave, you missed my point.
Yes, I did.
And lastly, random stats. Something different, something weird, something odd that would happen. Dave, you went to the well again. Kyle Juszczyk with a touchdown. If you had just said Elijah Mitchell.
I know.
But Juszczyk did not score. I said Brock Purdy would fumble twice. He did not fumble once. And Chris said CMC would have 3 TDs or more. He did not have a touchdown.
Well,
we didn't do very well on our random stats.
But you know what we did? We did our best and we had fun, Jason.
Yeah, gosh darn it, we did.
Well, we have a few minutes here.
Yeah.
I had some randoms for you, if you will.
I will.
Here's something fun for you. In between 10 and 100, the numbers between 10 and 100, you want to take a guess as to, this was tripping me out all weekend. You want to take a guess at what number would be listed first in alphabetical order?
Between 10 and 100?
Yeah.
11?
Somebody took the time to list out all the numbers between 10 and 100 in alphabetical order, and it broke my brain. Yeah.
80?
80 is number 2, Jason. You're so close.
8?
8 is not between 10 and 100.
Oh, 10 and 100.
Oh, 10 and 100. I forgot. Jason, you're so close. 80 is number 2. 18. 18, 80, 88, 85, and 84 are your top 5 numbers between 10 and 100 in alphabetical order. Your last number, the one that comes in last, 73.
Is that your favorite math question?
It's my favorite math question. I just have to memorize it now. But they say in the research that people just want to get educated. So we try to give them something, Jason. What else do I have? I got a couple more things for you. I gave you the one on the offense. What was the other number I had for you? Oh, here we go. The Sacramento Kings drafted Davion Mitchell a couple years ago. A lot of fans wish in retrospect they had drafted Alperen Şengün of the Houston Rockets. Well, the last 5 games, good golly, Miss Molly. 29 points, 8.5 boards, 6 assists on 59.1% from the field. Jason, he's 21 years old.
You liked Şengün from the beginning, didn't you?
I can't take full credit for that. I would have rather had Şengün than Mitchell, yes. And I said that, but I have to ding myself because I also said I completely get it because Şengün, my issue with him was his lack of defense and also still not trusting all the leagues over there, and when looking specifically at the Turkish league, he was the MVP, and thinking, we haven't had much out of there making impact in the NBA. Obviously, Hedo Turkoglu is the one that stands out. But no, if Nikola Jokic is Nikola Jokic, he is. If Domantas Sabonis is Diet Jokic, Alperen Şengün is Jokic zero. I don't know. He's moving up the list, dude. He's 21 flipping years old.
The Kings still have, I was looking at that draft right now. The Kings have 2 players on their roster. See if you can get this from that draft that they did not draft.
Chris Duarte?
Correct.
Juan Toscano Anderson?
Nope. Give me one more guess.
They did not draft.
They also drafted in the second round of that year, by the way, Neemias Queta.
Neemias Queta. Herder was before that.
This player went after that.
Yeah, it wasn't Herder. What?
I'll just tell you. They traded for him last year, Kessler Edwards.
Oh, Kessler Edwards. Everyone's favorite Kessler.
Yes, by far.
Yeah, that's. I get it though. Hey, I'm still on the Davion Mitchell bandwagon. I don't care what anyone says. He's still developing. And he's a good defender.
He's a really good defender. I mean, again, you go through pockets of the season, and he's back in the mix a little bit now. Yeah, the last game we didn't see, maybe the last 2 we haven't seen Keon Ellis, and Davion's in there. So, hey, take advantage of the opportunity.
I still think, I don't know this, to be fair, just full disclosure, I do not know this for a fact. I've never asked, I've never been told, but I would just bet all the money in mine and yours and Chris's pockets that they wanted Franz Wagner, and he got taken the 1 pick before.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
The Joakim Noah, Spencer Hawes type situation for you old heads. When we come back, let's recap the 49ers win against the Commanders with the Athletics. Matt Barrows will do that right here on your home of the Niners, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more about a COVID-19 vaccine option at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing, is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Here's third down. 30 looks right. 30 now chased out of the pocket. Now going back the other way. 360 spin. Trying to send throws for the end zone. Ayuk is open. Touchdown! San Francisco.
Ayuk is on fire on the playground. Wow, Brock Purdy spinning out. There was nowhere to go with the ball. He looks right. He looks left. Then he's got to spin out all the way up to his right. Fran with the pirouette puts his foot in the ground and finds Ayuk.
Well, found Ayuk, found a few more, and Jason, we had ourselves a bounce-back victory after what happened with the Ravens. Brock Purdy, turns out he's not a bust. He may have a future in this league. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, he's pretty good, and everything else went the Niners' way to get them that 1 seed for the NFC playoff run.
Too bad we don't have somebody to talk about it with.
Oh, we're in luck.
Is he on the line?
He's ready to go.
Joining us from The Athletic, the one, the only, fresh off of yesterday's victory, Matt Barrows. Good morning, Matt. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Am I correct in the fact that we're speaking with you this morning, combined with the fact that you have a bit of seniority there, that you were not, it was not necessary for you to make the trip to Maryland, or are you still over there?
No, I did not go to Maryland. Myself and my colleague, David Lombardi, we split our road games at the beginning of the season. And so this was a Lombardi trip and not a Barrows trip. Barrows predicted that he'd be running on fumes at this point of the year, and didn't think that a cross-country trip would be all that great. So that's why Barrows is watching this one from home.
Hey, hold on. I got to ask. Sorry, Jason. Yeah. Would you mind telling us what the Lombardi road games were this year? I've got a theory here, but I want to see if it works.
Okay, so my I think I know where you're going with it. His road games were Washington, obviously. Jacksonville, Florida, which is a lovely place to visit. So they don't don't get any ideas. And then Cleveland, which is like one of the nicest American cities on the lake there. And then what was the other one? I forget. Well, he went to. He went to the opener in Pittsburgh. We both went to Pittsburgh, and we both went to Philadelphia. So yeah, so there you go. I don't know what you're getting at, Dave.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Jacksonville, and Washington.
Right. I listen. The Seattle game was on Thanksgiving. I went to the Seattle game on Thanksgiving. So
yes,
I schlepped up there for that one.
So you're going to be rested and ready.
Yeah, I'm going to be the version of the 49ers, all kind of primed and ready to go when the playoffs finally start. It's going to be a long time before the playoffs start for 49ers, and as a beat writer, it sort of makes you nervous. Oh my God, how am I going to fill up the 2 weeks before the first game? So that's what we're working on now, kind of planning stories ahead of time.
Yeah, so how do you think they'll – I mean, we played a clip earlier, Matt, of Kyle Shanahan obviously thrilled that they got the 1 seed. They can kind of dictate the terms. He was like, yeah, I can't rest everybody because they just don't have that many people on the roster. There may be some he sits out this week, but how do you think he'll approach, this final one against the Rams?
Yeah, I think it'll be – they can't go total preseason game because, there are 90 guys on the roster in the preseason, and there are only 53 on the regular season roster, and some of those guys are going to be injured. Like Christian McCaffrey, for example, won't play in this game. Ross Dwelly, Sacto guy, he's not on IR, but he's injured. He won't play in this game, so he's a little bit bound by that. But I do think it'll be preseason like where you might decide, okay, we're going to go with our starters for the first quarter or so, and then they're in uniform, they're in the game, but it's going to be the backups that largely play for the rest of it. If one of those backups got hurt, then one of the starters would have to come back into the contest. So I don't know exactly how he's going to divide it up, but that's how I imagine it's going to be.
Now, we looked earlier, Matt, at Kyle's record, especially over the last 2 years, but you can really go 3 back after the bye week. And I understand a bye week is not the same as 2 weeks off, but it does seem, if you take recent history into account, that and rest tends to help this team a lot more than hurt it. And I wonder if that factors in at all as to how long and how many he's going to rest this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really been in this situation. They had the number 1 seed back in 2019, but if you remember, they needed every second of that game, that finale in Seattle, to get that that number 1 seed. And that was a night game too. So they finished that season, and they were beat up and they were exhausted. And I know fans will say, "Well, they're beat up and exhausted right now." Not to the degree they were back then, and they have this sort of bonus Week 18 game where they don't have to go pedal to the metal in it. So I think that he's going to be okay as far as rest. I think his priority is going to be sort of keep these guys fine-tuned. Obviously, he's not going to want to overdo it. He's going to want to give the Trent Williams of the world plenty of rest. But I think in that bye week practice, for example, next week's practice, he's going to want to practice and practice fairly hard just to kind of keep everybody in the right rhythm. Everybody's going to stick around. No one's going to go home to various parts of the country. It's going to be a business week as if there were a game the following Sunday.
Talk with Matt Barrows here. Matt, I got to ask you about the significance of the offensive total numbers here, but through 17 weeks now. You get McCaffrey at 2,000 plus all-purpose yards, Ayuk and Kittle 1,000 yards, and then Brock Purdy sets the 49ers single-season record for passing yards amongst that list of amazing quarterbacks, Hall of Famers, legends. That's pretty incredible what Brock Purdy just did this year.
Yeah, for sure, and I think it's notable that we're talking about 16 games there. And one of the laments of former players is going to be, well, back in my day, we only played 16 games, so we only had 16 chances to accumulate these totals. The modern guys play 17. Well, the 49ers did all that damage in 16 games, and McCaffrey won't play on Sunday, and Purdy's probably going to play a partial game, and so will his pass catchers. So I think that's significant, that this was done in sort of the traditional 16-game season, which just speaks to how explosive, how prolific, how efficient. Really, that's the key word for Brock Purdy. How efficient he's been this season.
Matt, we were trying to think earlier if there's any other team in the NFL that whose fans would be more disappointed without a championship, and I thought maybe the Chiefs, but that's just expectations. They have them. This is now 2024, which marks the 30th anniversary, which for you, for me, for Jason, people in our age bracket is crazy. When we grew up with this team winning 5 championships in relatively 14, 15 years, short order. Is this truly the non-hyperbole championship or bust year when you think of the franchise and the fans?
For sure. I mean, I think it would be a total disappointment, just starting with the players and the coaches. I mean, they've been building this juggernaut all off season. I don't want to say that they've been robbing from, future seasons, but, it's all now. I mean, everything is geared to win the Super Bowl right now. I mean, they're still bringing in free agents. Sebastian Joseph Day, for example. I thought, if remember that throw that Brock Purdy made to Kittle over the middle, where Kittle just got submarined, and boy, for a couple of seconds there, I thought that looked a lot like the Buda Baker hit from a few years ago that sent Kittle out of action for half a season. And I thought, boy, this team is going to be making a phone call to Zach Ertz. I mean, they do have contingencies for a lot of these guys. Because they realize the window is wide open right now. This is it. They have to do it. And I'm not saying that means that they couldn't do it next year when you've got a young quarterback like Brock Purdy. The window is always open. But, boy, it's right in front of them right now. So I agree with you. You don't want to kind of dwell on the negative, but I think it would be a colossal disappointment if they didn't win it this year.
And what's crazy, Matt, is Dave and I were talking about, there's a decent chance. We know it gets seeded and reseeded, whatever. They're going to play the worst team by seeding. But there's a decent chance they could open up with Philadelphia. That's a tough way to get your playoff journey started.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the benefits of kind of watching that first weekend at home. You can sort of root for some of the upsets and teams to get knocked out. I was talking about this with Tim Kawakami the other day, that all of these NFC teams, go back to the Ravens game and what made the Ravens stand out and what made the Ravens such a difficult opponent, particularly for Brock Purdy. They got a complete defense. They had 2 inside linebackers that really could patrol the middle of the field, sort of the bread and butter area of the 49ers. These NFC teams, that's a weakness with each of them, including the Philadelphia Eagles. And the 49ers sort of put a spotlight on that in that game in early December. And it seems like every other team that's followed has done the same thing, sort of gone after that weak spot, that soft underbelly of that defense. So in that respect, I don't know if the 49ers would be that frightened of the Eagles. The Eagles have a fantastic offensive line. All it takes is for Jalen Hurts to get hot, and that would be problematic. But I think the combination of rest and the fact that the 49ers know really well how to attack that team, both offensively and defensively, I think they'd be okay with it.
Last thing for you, Matt. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but your just best guess as we sign off. Who's in bubble wrap this weekend?
Well, Christian McCaffrey. the question for me is, you put Trent Williams, the elder statesman of the team, in bubble wrap.
Yes.
But is he a package deal with Brock Purdy? So if you take your left tackle out of the equation, do you also take your starting quarterback out of the equation and play Sam Darnold? And I think you might want to play Brandon Allen too, given what happened last year. Just give your third quarterback some reps heading into the playoffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if both the left tackle and the starting QB, who, by the way, has been dealing with stinger issues in a couple of weeks recently, the week off. But I don't know. I think everybody else might suit up. And like I said, it'll be a cameo appearance, but I think that they need most of those guys at least in uniform if there are injuries elsewhere.
That's Matt Barrows of The Athletic. Looking forward to hopefully a long and prosperous playoff run and visits with him each and every week. Matt, appreciate it. Happy New Year, my friend. And we know this, if they end up playing, well, never mind. I'm trying to think of a place they'd go on the road. You'll be on. I'm just really glad we found out that you are nice enough to allow your junior colleague to see some of really the greatest cities in the whole U.S.
Well, don't you want to visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And I'm sure there's some landmark in Jacksonville that is worth visiting.
We appreciate you and your kindness, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Anytime, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. That's Matt Barrows. We will take a break. When we come back, we got the rest of the final hour. Don't forget, we will have a crosstalk with Styles and Watkins today, but we've got a Kings game tonight. Kings and Hornets preview, and I got some updated odds for you in the world of the NFL. We'll get to that next.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Real quick, Jason, I've got some numbers for you. When it comes to the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, the San Francisco 49ers are still a 2-1 favorite to win the Super Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens 13-4, which is a little over 3-1. Quick math. And it's those two. Let's just call it 3-1 for the Ravens and round down here. 2-1 for the Niners, 3-1 for the Ravens. Would you like to take a guess as to who is the third most likely team, according to Vegas, to win the Super Bowl?
I bet they put the Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 5th. The Kansas City Chiefs are 5th at 19-2. Well, 17-2, excuse me. So basically 8.5-1.
Cowboys?
The Cowboys are 4th Now, I thought this was kind of interesting. The Buffalo Bills are now exactly where they were the day after the Super Bowl last year. They are now 8-1 favorites to win the Super Bowl. Just some individual numbers I also thought you'd be interested in. Before we get to the Kings here, Lamar Jackson has all but sewn up the MVP. He is a massive favorite, and even if Baltimore does not play him this week, he likely will have it'll have little bearing. Christian McCaffrey, Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, and Tyreek Hill are now off the board for MVP voting. Myles Garrett is the new favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. He has created some separation between him and Micah Parsons. Max Crosby comes back on the board. Kevin Stefanski is now a massive favorite for Coach of the Year. DeMar Hamlin is still the favorite for Comeback Player of the Year, 2-3, but 6-5 odds for your number 2 guy now, Joe Flacco, followed by Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, and Tua Tagovailoa. Puka Nacua has closed the gap, but CJ Stroud still looks like your odds-on favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Jalen Carter still your pretty big favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year, which is an award, Jason, I'd love to see somebody from the Sacramento Kings win someday. Your Defensive Player of the Year. That being said, they're taking on the Charlotte Hornets tonight. No LaMelo Ball. They have struggled this year. They have now lost 11 in a row. They lost last night in Denver. They are now 7-24. So my guess is Hornets 122, Kings 118, right? I mean, that's how it works.
No, I'm not guessing that.
No?
No, I mean, look, Charlotte, I think you still have to go back out there and compete, obviously, without that goes without saying. They've been really rough. They give up a ton of points. They've been banged up. They've been injured. They've had people out. Certainly Ball has been out, and that's derailed some of their, but this is a team that I believe now has the longest playoff drought. You know, the Kings had that for years. I think it's Charlotte now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The longest playoff drought.
Last night they played without Rozier, Hayward, Mark Williams, LaMelo Ball, and Frank Kitolina. Actually, quick note on Mark Williams. This is a guy that is fairly anonymous in NBA circles. I don't know if you followed him at all out of Duke. He's in his second year now. This is a type of guy that when people are saying, if you ever move Domantas Sabonis to the 4, who would you like there? This guy is massive. He is massive. He is good. I like Walker Kessler more, but he's kind of a poor man's Walker Kessler right now and is moving up that rate. So I obviously LaMelo Ball is their big loss. But playing without Mark Williams, I honestly think he's the second most important player on that team. They have Miles Bridges. I imagine he will get quite the ovation. If Josh Giddey gives us any sort of barometer, Kings fans are usually pretty good at identifying who needs to be booed and who doesn't. I imagine Miles Bridges will have quite the reception tonight in Sacramento. And they were gone for much of the holidays. It's their first game back. I think look, other than the ha funny part, which isn't really funny, of they're playing crap team, therefore it's going to be a tough game like we just saw in Portland. Jason, this team, we've said it forever, is notorious for being really crappy their first game back from a road trip.
Yeah, and there are so many things pointing in their favor as far as just schedule, opponent versus opponent, what Charlotte's missing. But I don't even know. Again, we say this a lot about the Kings. It really matters on how they play. You can look at who's out and who hasn't been playing for Charlotte. But you're right, Dave. The Kings too many times have kind of let that slip. And I don't know if that's a lack of focus, concentration, or whatever. But this one, to me, at the end of the night, needs to be a win. And whether Rozier, who was just ill last night, comes back and plays, they're still capable people. But I mean, again, would you rather play Milwaukee or Charlotte? Like, you'd rather play Charlotte and take care of business.
When you say Rozier was ill, did he have a license to be that way?
You know what, he did actually.
Yeah, did he? Okay, good.
You know what? I think he was just illin.
He be illin?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's kick it.
Well done. Last question before we take a break. Jason, if the unthinkable were to happen and the Charlotte Hornets were to beat the Sacramento Kings,
Worst loss of the season.
That's a real question I have. Does that take the crown away from Portland?
Oh, Portland was the worst loss of the season?
I think was Portland the worst loss? I feel like
I don't know. We've had this exercise like 9 times. I feel like we're crying wolf.
We get one once a week. It was the Celtics no-show, followed by the Portland road debacle. And if they lose at home to the 7-24, 11-game losing streak Hornets, that's got to be your new champion, right? What do you call it, Chris? Like the linear champion or whatever? Like, that's got to be the champion.
Wait, I'm going to look at this. All right, home opener. It was painful to lose to the Warriors. Worst loss of the season?
But at least they were a good team. That was emotionally tough, but that's a decent, it's the Warriors.
Losing at the buzzer with Klay Thompson. Worst loss of the season? Then going to Houston. Oh, easy win. Losing by, 18 to Houston?
Houston's good.
Followed up by losing. Oh, but it was the worst loss of the season.
It was at the time.
And then they lost by 15 on the answer. They'll answer back, and then they lost by 15.
But then they had their cup performance. Nothing bad happened there.
Okay. How about the loss by 36 at New Orleans?
No, that was
that was fine. That was a fun
they got
loss.
Caught unawares.
Okay, then they had 2 days off and then lost to them by 5.
Okay, that was bad, but it was only by 5.
Oh, the Clippers at home by 14.
They were mentally drained from the Warriors.
Okay. Oh, New Orleans, third try. This was for the cup too to get to Vegas. They lost by 10.
Okay, all right. That's what it. Okay, that might be the worst loss of the year.
All right, then they went to the Clippers later and lost by 20.
Clippers were riding high, and we never liked playing down there.
Boston when they lost 144 to 119.
That was terrible, but Boston's a really good team, even though they didn't have Jason Tatum and Al Horford.
Minnesota at home without Towns by 12.
They're actually better without Towns.
Okay, and then the Portland game by 17.
That's the worst loss of the year, other than the New Orleans one.
Okay.
This would be honestly, okay. How about this? I know we got a break. If they lose tonight, can we at least agree that this would go on Mount Lossmore?
Yes.
Top 4?
I think so. We got to see context, but I don't know how it wouldn't. I can't imagine. Hey, they played great, but lost.
Yeah, I know. To the Hornets. I don't like this conversation. We'll take a break. When we come back, what to watch tonight and what?
Your Mount Lossmore.
Toilet store. And 3 in the key. Kings Hornets tonight. We'll do all that next right here on Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another 3-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin ultra soft on the party, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. She's crushing everything, so our chicks feel fly. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
It's a new year, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling has a new heating and air special. It's a 2023 equipment blowout with prices on complete heat and air systems starting at just $8,995. If you have a high quote from another company, call the Good Guys for a free second opinion on repairs and replacement. Don't trust the other guys until you've called the Good Guys. Save 30% on the cost of your home's heating and cooling with proper attic insulation. For a no-cost estimate, call 530-GOOD-AIR or check them out online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057618.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Home to the Hornets tonight, losers of 11 in a row. Does that take the Willoughby crown? That's what we're going to call it, the Willoughby, the worst loss of the year. I think it's catchy. 12 votes in, 58% say yes, worst loss of the year. That's decisive. No?
How many votes?
12. Oh, 24 now. 75 to 25. Boom, just doubled.
So the Willoughby?
The Willoughby.
What's the Bowoody?
The best win of the year, the Bowoody. Bowoody and Willoughby. That sounds like a children's cartoon, by the way. Best win of the year.
Season opener, Utah.
The
Laker win in OT. Home opener, first home win of the year.
It's pretty good.
Portland win. No, you're not going to take that by 3.
Warriors come back.
Warriors come back from 24.
That's probably it.
Win at the Lakers by 15.
I mean, that was good.
Crushing the Mavs by 16 in Dallas, their first home loss.
I'm just trying to think what anybody. I'm now the king of the hill right now is that Warriors win.
Winning at Minnesota, their only home loss this year, by 13.
I mean, like on paper, that is right. Like that has to be. In fact, that has to be one. Beating the defending champs, that's got to be 2.
Yeah, there's 4 in a row here, I think. The Dallas win by 16, the win at Minnesota by 13, the Golden State comeback to win by 1 on the Malik game winner, and then Denver. Those are 4 wins in a row.
That's actually, you know what? And we're not even counting the fact that they beat Oklahoma City twice.
Yep, you got a couple of wins against Phoenix.
Going down to Phoenix and beating them by 15.
Yep. And then this other one was really a complete performance. I don't know. You know,
I do think I do think the M Quody, which is the most complete win of the year, was against Memphis. I do think that's their most complete. Like that team that played against Memphis. We're 19 and 12 right now. That team is actually 24 and 7 on the
Quody.
Yeah, that's the Quody. But the Blody is probably the Golden State one. And then the Willoughby with 73 votes in, Jason. The Willoughby, 78% say it would be a loss to the Hornets.
Wow, we don't get caught up in stuff too much, do we?
Are you accusing?
What about the Bapodi?
Bapodi?
Yeah. Best individual performance of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Best individual performance of the year? The Bapodi. Well, that's got to be Keegan, right?
Has to be Keegan.
Keegan with 47?
Wow.
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 Wow is a no.
Just Dave and Chris hate De'Aaron Fox.
Well, Sabonis had about 17 triple doubles.
Well, we know Dave does.
I know Dave has wanted to trade him for years. So wait, if this Charlotte game happens that way and it becomes the Willoughby, if we're already going down this road, it's going to be replaced in a week if the Kings lose next Tuesday at Detroit. Just because people already have that in their head, like Detroit.
No, totally. Totally. And I think, honestly,
Willoughby is exhausting.
Willoughby is. Honestly, if we lose to Detroit, I think that's the reigning Willoughby until the final loss of the playoffs, if there is one.
What about the next night when they go to Charlotte? If they lose to Charlotte tonight at Detroit next week to take the new Willoughby, could the Charlotte sweep be the...
Oh, my God. That would be the...
Willoughby.
The Willoughby. The worst back-to-back loss of the year.
But then you know what the Kings would do is if they lost tonight to Charlotte, lose next Tuesday to Detroit, next Wednesday to Charlotte, the rest 100%. Of that road trip they'd sweep. Philly, Milwaukee, Phoenix.
100,000%.
And they're like, they're back!
There is no doubt about that.
There would be a Willoughby on that after a couple of Willoughbys. And then some bloaties.
And then a bloaty. We're now 115 votes, Jason, right in front of our eyes. 81% say yes.
Is it just a yes or no? There's no other choices?
No, it's just, would it be or wouldn't it be? Do you think I should have provided choices?
Yeah, because now you're just like, oh, yeah. I mean, why would people say no?
Because they'd say, no, the Portland game was worse.
Okay.
Or the Boston game was worse. Or the Clippers. Or the... you know what? But I'll tell you what. I'm going to make a little reply right here. So right now it's 81% to 19%. I'm going to say right now, live on the air, myself, I think the Cup game at home versus the Pelicans it would still be the worst. So I'm gonna try to sway them a little bit, Jason.
Sway them.
Does Carmichael Dave still have any sway over the fan base?
Sway on the Willoughby.
Sway, yeah, I'm trying to sway the Willoughby. In the meantime, while we are trying to sway the Willoughby, which totally sounds like an Urban Dictionary thing, let's look at what to watch tonight. Obviously, Hornets Kings. Sactown Sports has all your coverage. Tip off at 7 p.m. We got Boston, Oklahoma City. That's going to be a nice matchup, and then we can do some scouting, Jason. Magic at Warriors, and it will be 2 games on a Sega Baba tomorrow, correct?
2 games on a what?
Aren't the Magic playing? Wait, are we playing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing a second game of a back-to-back.
Oh yeah, Baba. Okay.
And if we lose to the Magic, that will not be. If we lose to the Magic on a Sega Baba, that will not be the Willoughby.
What if they were up 40?
And then gave it all up in the fourth quarter, D'Angelo Russell net style.
Yes, Willoughby.
That would be Mount Willoughby more.
Okay,
definitely Mount Willoughby more.
If they did that, that would be magic.
Some would say, since we're doing acronyms here, the G-Tote, the greatest theme of all time. Hit that, Christopher Laud. The 3 in the. Did you say is this on G-Tote more?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Totes.
3 in the Key, brought to you by no one. Go ahead, please.
I'm just trying to figure out what all these other acronyms are that people are sending us. All right, Dave, Chris, myself, who will have the last Kings field goal tonight?
Oh gosh, give me Davion Mitchell in junk time.
I'm gonna say JaVale McGee.
Juan Toscano Anderson.
Just one?
Dave, we were talking earlier about made threes by De'Aaron Fox, how he's become a sniper. So we want made threes by Fox versus assists by Monk.
Wait, so we're adding them together?
No, just what is the Fox number? What is the Monk number?
All right, I'm gonna go. You know what? Let's go double nickel. Jason Williams 5 and 5.
Okay, I have 4 for Fox, 7 for Monk. Chris,
3 and 5.
5. And lastly, random stat from tonight's game.
I will say that Mike Brown will lose a challenge.
That's not random.
That's a gimme.
Okay, you guys go. I'll think of one.
I'm writing yours down, though, first. That one, at least. Mike Brown will lose the challenge. I'm going to say Kings will trail at one point by double figures. Chris?
Sabonis will have a first half double-double.
Okay.
You know what? I'm changing it. There will be free crumble cookies tonight.
Crumble cookies will be had.
Crumble cookies will be had by all.
There you go. In the Willody. Hopefully not the Willody.
Let's get a Willody update here. Jason Ross from your Willody headquarters in Southern California. With 159 votes now in. Remember, it was 81-19. I put the reply in. It has 3 likes. We're now down to 79%.
See, you've influenced. You've had sway.
I am influencing. I'm putting my finger on the scale here. 79% say that if the Kings lose at home to the Hornets tonight, that would make it the worst loss of the year. Okay. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll ask these guys. We'll ask them if they think it would be the Willody. Styles and Watkins, celebrity birthdays as well. Don't go away. Final segment of the program comes up next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. Trucksmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. For a limited time, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, get an additional 20% off in-store clearance appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 12/28/23 through 1/3/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than freshly baked and home-delivered crumble cookies.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
And now,
here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Yeah. And yeah. Hi, good morning. Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Great. New year, new us.
We have a lot to get to, so I'm just going to move right along and dispense with the pleasantries. The pleasant trees. Gentlemen, if the Kings were to lose at home to the Hornets tonight, it would be their 11th. The Hornets have lost 11 in a row. If they were to lose at home tonight to the Hornets, would that take the Willoty crown?
I'm sorry?
Would that take the Willoty crown if they lose to the Hornets tonight?
And the Willoty, as you know, is the worst loss of the season.
Duh.
You can't get worse than the Blazers to me. Are we going calendar year?
No, this season.
Was the Blazers, that was in Portland, though, right?
Yes.
So it'd be close. It would be close.
I personally think it's the home debacle against the Pelicans for the Cup semifinals. That's my personal take. Even though the Pelicans are good.
Right. Depends on why it's the worst for you.
Well, 207 voters, guys, say that tonight would be the Willoty. 78% to 22%.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be great. I mean, you consider everybody out, too, would be
be a bad loss.
Pretty tough to see PJ Washington give us 45 tonight.
I saw Gordon Hayward on a podcast.
No.
Yeah.
You guys will be happy to know today is National Cream Puff Day.
I'm out.
No, not very good.
I had a buddy who loved them, would put them in the freezer, come over, and he thought he was really doing me a solid. Hey, I'll tell my mom to get out the cream puffs, and I had to pretend like I liked them.
I'm not trying to pop them up as like the greatest, but how do you not like a nice cream puff? No. It's puff and cream.
Without other choices, it's just a no.
The cream just doesn't have any flavor to me. Maybe it was the brand I had.
Yeah. Oh, you put a nice whipped cream in there, a little thick. All right.
Is Twinkies just kind of like a dollar store version of a cream puff?
Yeah, it's a great value cream puff. I mean, obviously it's not really, but that's the ancestor, really, of the cream of the Twinkie.
I'm in on Twinkies.
When was the last time you had a Twinkie?
Man. Can't remember.
Yeah.
It's been,
And they're obviously still around, right? People still.
That's what they say. They say they're going to be around forever.
Yeah.
Outlive all of us.
When's the last time you were in the store and saw someone purchase
Twinkies?
I will not
that
confirm
Twinkie ho-ho section stays pretty stacked these days.
I will not confirm or deny that I've had a Twinkie since I've been down here.
Wow.
They're in the house. What do you want? I had one. Finally, today is National Buffet Day. I got to tell you, ever since the pandemic, the buffet has been gone at Thunder Valley, and I think they're a sponsor. I don't know who we need to talk to, but can we get that back? And Saturday crab buffet, like are there even any buffets around? Need more buffets.
Corral.
Yeah,
Golden Corral.
I think that's about it.
Thanks,
Do you
COVID.
count Sizzler as their little, their little lunch? What is it? Their salad bar is kind of buffet.
We have a salad bar at Golden Lion.
We do.
Yeah.
We technically do. Yeah.
Hey, Jason, remember the buffet in the Skyline Lounge at Arco?
I do.
Oh boy,
A lot of
there was
treats up there.
That was diseasy. All right, celebrity birthdays. Nothing says birthdays and sharing times and all that good stuff more. Our good friends at Crumble Cookies, CRUMBL predicted that fans will get Crumble Cookies tonight
right.
after 2 missed free throws. Jason Ross.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, now it feels right. Now it feels right. Happy birthday on this January 2nd to Fernando
Tatis.
Valenzuela.
God, I don't know any other Fernandos.
My cousin Fernando.
Okay, Chris's cousin Fernando.
Yeah,
he was on The Price is Right.
He was on The Price
that
is Right.
cousin Fernando.
Yeah,
How
that
did
cousin
he do?
Fernando. Yes. Pretty
He won
well.
some
I think he made
purses.
it. Yeah, he won a couple things.
Oh, he lost to The basketball player's mom on the wheel.
How do you know the story and you don't?
We have a mutual friend.
I've seen it multiple times.
Okay. All right. Well, it is Fernando Tatis.
Pat Beverly's mom beat him on the
Really?
wheel. He had 95 cents and she got $1.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to give him so much.
That's
I
random.
have no idea.
How old is Fernando Tatis Jr.
27.
No. I think he's
no.
Is he 20? He's 24 or 25. I'm gonna go with 25.
24.
26.
We got them all covered. We have a correct answer. Alan Styles, 25.
Wow.
Andy
No.
No, Dave, you were way
No.
off.
Hey,
Happy birthday to Cuba Gooding Jr.
man, that guy. Have you seen the videos
of him lately?
He's still in these streets at clubs with
really?
rappers. Yes, it's hilarious.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Cuba.
Yeah.
Cuba?
Bigger fan of his brother,
Who's that?
Omar.
Is
Had a great
is-
run in the 90s.
Yes.
Is Cuba Gooding Jr. or Cuba Gooding Jr.? Which is it, by the way? Cuba?
I think it's Cuba.
It's like cumin or cumin, right? Is he responsible for the most unintentionally funny at the worst moment scene in cinematic history? One of my favorite movies, Boys in the Hood. Remember when he comes in and he just starts punching the air after the drive-bys, right? And
Yeah.
like it's such a serious scene and it's so terrible what he's going through. But I always every single time it's just and I'm like, this is not. It's like you're at a funeral or something and something gives you the giggles.
It's just like that.
Just the same.
Exactly like that. By the way, he's 53.
It's a good one. 55.
I'll say the Star of Snow Dogs is 59.
Ooh, I was going to say 58. I'll stick with 58.
All right. Alan Styles, the win, 56.
Wow.
All right. Happy birthday, Dax Shepard.
That's
45.
How old is she?
40. She?
Wait, Dave, who's Dax Shepard?
Hold on. Oh wait. Oh, you know what, dude? I'm an idiot. I'm thinking of the character Dax off of Deep Space Nine, who's a girl. Wasn't Dax Shepard on Scrubs?
Dork.
He was on. Didn't he get started on what was that prank show?
He wasn't the guy on Scrubs.
No.
Oh,
He
wait.
looks like the guy from
He
Scrubs.
was just on a commercial. He's married to
Kristen Bell?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Dax Shepard. He's 49.
What did you say, Chris?
45.
Say 47.
48. We have a correct answer. Carmichael Dave,
Boom.
49. You didn't know who she was, and it's a he, and you got it right. All right, here we go. Let's test everybody's knowledge of this name. Happy birthday, David
Hasselhoff.
Lee Roth.
Blaine.
Yeah, Hasselhoff.
We got a
That's where I was
Hasselhoff,
going.
Lee Roth, and a Blaine, and a Wells. Happy birthday to David Cohn.
Oh,
I'm sorry?
David Cohn.
pitcher, Mets, Yankees.
Thank you.
Perfect game.
Sunday Night Baseball.
You a cone?
Favorite cones. He's 57.
Oh.
54.
Jeez. 62.
55.
Chris Watkins for the win. 61 for David Cohn.
Guys.
Happy birthday to Grant Hill's father, Calvin Hill, former NFL player.
Wow.
Calvin Hill.
He's 71.
74.
Say 78.
76.
It's a tie between Chris and Chris. 77 for Calvin Hill. Happy birthday to Edgar Martinez.
Oh, you didn't give us an Edgar lead in?
You would have gone Alan Poe.
I would have.
I actually would have got that.
Yeah?
Edgar Martinez.
How old is he?
Well, let's see. I was playing with him on N64. Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. So, at this point now, gotta be 58.
Okay.
I'll say 56.
No, he's 51, guys.
62.
Christopher Laud for the win. He's 61 for Edgar Martinez. Happy birthday to I shouldn't even say it, to Royce
Clayton.
O'Neal.
Yeah, I was going to go O'Neal.
It's Clayton. Royce Clayton, former San Francisco Giant. How old is Royce Clayton?
He's 54.
60.
59.
No way.
58.
We have an exact answer, a correct answer. Carmichael Dave, 54. And the last one. Happy birthday to Kirk
Cousins.
Oh, gosh. Schilling. Oh, you said Kirk.
Kirk. K-R-K-I-R.
Herb Street.
Cameron.
Kirk Cameron. Nice. Kirk Menefee.
Douglas.
We still don't have it. How many other Kirks do we know?
Kirk Franklin.
Kirk Reinhardt.
Kirkland.
Kirkland. Kirk?
Captain?
Yeah.
Kirk
Fuddruckers.
Happy birthday to former NBAer Kirk Heinrich.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Probably the
He's
last
40
player to wear goggles.
He's 41.
43.
He looked 40 when he played. 44.
46.
We have a correct answer, and it's Alan Stiles, 43.
Wow.
There you
Big
go.
Kirk Heinrich guy.
That is
Oh,
our
yeah.
list for January 2nd, Carmichael Dave.
Rock chalk.
All right. Just going back to earlier, better role, Rod Tidwell or Trey in Boys in the Hood for Cuba Gooding Jr.? And are those his two best roles in your opinion? Or are you going to say like radio or something?
Oh, he's really good in radio.
He was.
Chris is going to say Snow Dogs.
Boat Trip.
So good.
Boat Trip was good.
What was the
Rat Race?
Rat Pack?
Rat Race.
Rat Race. Yeah.
Come on.
Rod Tidwell.
Rat Race is an underrated movie.
That is an underrated movie.
Fighting Temptations.
I didn't realize I'd seen this much of his
Yeah,
work.
I'm trying to think of other Cuba Gooding.
I'm exhausted of his.
Yeah. Really?
286 votes, and by the way, 76% say tonight would be the Willody.
Felt right.
Gentlemen, what's coming up on the show today?
Lots of stuff. We're talking with Chris Biederman, Candlestick Chronicles. He was also on the Kings road trip there, so going to get some insight there. Going to talk a little bit about De'Aaron Fox's improved three-point shooting.
Hey.
It's crazy this year.
Lefty.
You guys replay our segment from 8 o'clock.
Nah, it's okay.
No?
We
You
got-
have
I
to
like
sit on
ours.
spin?
Yeah, I like ours.
Okay.
Florida State, Dave, think they would have made it through this weekend's game? Yesterday's
No.
games? No?
I'm the one who said they shouldn't have been in.
Georgia
That's true.
would've.
That is true.
Yeah. You try to be fair and balanced, and then I end up defending myself against Florida State fans. I'm like, I'm one of you.
Yep.
All right. Well, Styles and Watkins coming up next. For Jason Ross, for Matt Barrows, for Sean Salisbury, and for Christopher Law. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Light the beam tonight. Would you know, Willodies? Bye now.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. And